Oh, hi everybody. It's us. We're here. It's happening. Welcome to TBK Roleplay. I am Sarix Franco, your GM for this evening. Tonight we're playing The Heat of Loss and The Breeze of Hope, a one-shot adventure written by yours truly as a part of our Iron GM competition. I have not altered, touched, or changed this, other than like adding player tokens and switching out some art. But the story is as written in that session. So we're going to see how this one shot I wrote in an hour plays out. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm joined by some incredible players, and I'm so excited to have them. I'm going to turn the time over to them, starting with Vermin for introductions. Can you just tell us who you are and who you're playing this evening?
Hello, everybody. I am Legendary Vermin, and tonight I am playing Joram Oxbow, a skeleton, inventor, and snappy dresser. I'll pass it over to Janie.
Hi, I'm Janie. Tonight I'll be playing Iris, an Eldrin sorcerer. I'm passing it on to the next person.
Hey, I'm Comrade, and we're playing Lena, the half-elf, the half-elf Death Domain Cleric. Soldier, no nonsense, and here to kick some ass. And on to Fail.
Hello, everybody. It's Fail Prime, and I am playing Wally, a Warforged Warlock.
Awesome. And without further ado, I think we should just jump right into our adventure. The four of you have fallen into a party of sorts, traveling around looking for work. Perhaps you're only sharing a stretch of the road for a short time, trying to reach a town or city or goal on the other side of a large canyon. You've been traveling together for a couple of weeks, just enough to kind of start to settle in and get to know each other. Tell me, what kind of things do your characters, and we'll just go in overlay order again, what kinds of things do your characters do while traveling? Any rituals, anything they try to avoid? Starting with Vermin.
So Joram, for the most part, when they're traveling, Joram will like sing songs and tell old stories, but they have a very hard time remembering what stories they've already told and what songs they've already sung. So sometimes they just end up like a repeating record, but with 45 minutes worth of content. And whenever we meet people, Joram hides behind a bush and comes out with flesh on, just to avoid angry people.
Awesome. Janie, tell us a little about Iris.
Iris is Eldrin sorcerer, and she just seems to like not skipping along, but she just happily goes from place to place. She picks flowers. She shares whatever food she has. Just kind of like I don't want to say hippie, but kind of.
Awesome. Comrade, tell us about Lena.
Lena, she's a tallish woman, and she is very composed. While everyone else is more happy-go-lucky, they just follow along as it is their duty to keep Everwatch on this interesting band of misfits that she has gotten herself tied together.
Awesome. And finally, Fail. Talk to us a little bit about Wally.
Wally is a Warforged who doesn't have a whole lot of memories. He hasn't been around very long, but he's had such a longing to be part of something greater and to have something greater than just being a machine, that he's struck a deal with an otherworldly being, and created a pact to have a higher purpose.
Awesome. You continue to travel, and as you do, you finally reach, coming out of the of the canyon that it opens up into a valley. As you kind of look out, you see this beautiful valley that stretches out into the sunset. There's a lot of forest, and you can tell that the road's going to descend down in. Can you all make me a perception check, please? Gosh dang it, Lena. 23, big oof. Holy cow. All right. Joram and Jeannie, what do we got here? There goes Joram's. Okay.
An 8.
An 8. Okay. Yeah, so you look out, and for the most part, you, again, observe this beautiful valley just as the sun is setting. You know that soon you'll need to make camp. Lena, however, you notice as you look out across the trees, off in the distance, there seems to be quite a bit of smoke rising up from the trees. And with the 23, you are able to look around the general area and notice that it doesn't seem, at first you think maybe there's a forest fire or something, but it doesn't seem that way. The smoke is too black, too inky. It's obvious that whatever's burning, it's not just trees. But it's far in the distance and not something that you need to concern yourself with immediately. So you continue forward down into the valley. As you go, eventually you start to hear the soft sounds of a campfire crackling in front of you, the warm glow, and you find yourselves near a campsite. Sitting in the midst of the campfire, or near the campfire, tending to it, is a young woman, and off to her side, grazing happily in the open meadow that they've found, is a war horse. What would you guys like to do?
Before we get too close to the campsite, Joram is going to affix a large, bushy, false beard to avoid detection.
Awesome. Roll me there's a check for this. Is it like there's disguise?
You want performance or deception?
I would take either. I will leave it to you.
I have I'm an actor, so I can take advantage on either.
Awesome. Okay.
Does that go once or twice?
That went
15.
3 times, but we're gonna go with the 15. And yeah, you're able to do this. And it looks fairly decent. Perhaps maybe like usually you're just doing like a beard, right?
Yeah, a false beard and maybe some wax where a nose should be.
Okay. The wax, I don't know if we have any like old Pink Panther with Peter Sellers fans here, but the wax nose, if it gets hot, it's going to kind of like drip. And you know that, so you've like fixed it particularly firm, but it is completely passable. Anybody else want to do anything?
I'm gonna look Lena up and down for a second, and then I'm gonna cast Disguise Self to make myself look like Lena.
Okay.
Could be anyone else. Why me?
I don't know. You're closest.
Well, he's not going to try and look like me.
That should have rolled. So.
Yeah, I've got the. How tall is Wally?
I don't remember.
And how tall is Lena?
I'm tallish, so maybe I think 6'1".
Yeah, I'd say Wally's only like 5'5".
Okay. Okay, but that still covers you. You're all right. Okay. Yeah, you do that. You now have two Lenas. Iris, is there anything that you'd like to do as we enter into this camp?
You know what? Everybody's sick. Well, I can't really do that with minor illusion, so I'm just going to make. I'm going to pick some flowers.
Okay. There are flowers as you walk in, and they're beautiful. This meadow has kind of opened up. There's soft lilac purples and a couple of bright sprigs of red that seem to kind of be turning towards the setting sun. and they fit together in a cute little bouquet that you're able to collect. As you guys stride into the camp, do you stride into the camp? I don't want to make any assumptions, but I felt like we were getting ready.
Iris is, unless they're actively trying to stop her. She's like happy with her bouquet of flowers.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, you walk into the camp, and the young woman looks up at you. And at first she seems like a little worried, but as she kind of observes you, she kind of takes a sigh of relief. She looks tired. She's in plate mail that's battle worn, and she's, got some scuffs of what looks like ash on it. The campfire burns low, smokeless, and her camp is very tidy. She'll stand up and kind of rub at her eyes. Oh, hail and well met. Travelers, are you? Yeah, feel free to join my camp. It's not much, but if you need a place to stay for the evening, my fire is yours.
Iris will hand her the bouquet and then take a seat.
It's
By the
not-
fire.
Yeah, and I think Lena walks right behind her and it's like, if it's not too much trouble, we'll assist her with any protection or anything you need.
Oh, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you for the flowers. They're beautiful. Things in the valley they've been better, so any extra protection for the night would be greatly appreciated. She's gonna kind of tilt her head as Lena and Lena 2 walk in. You're twins then?
I think I sigh and roll my eyes. I don't think I have the heart to come up with a story for what's going on here.
It's rare to see twins. I myself have a twin, but I've a strange happenstance, right?
You could say that again.
Oh, I apologies. Where are my manners? My name is Orla Swain. It's a captain in the local army. It's wonderful. Could I get introductions?
I'm Iris. Are there twins invading the valley? Is that what's happening?
Um,
An army
No.
of twins?
no, not exactly.
Oh.
Something a little more nefarious, I think.
Evil twins?
Triplets?
I think it would have to be definitely quadruplets, if anything, but I don't really
Evil
have.
twins?
I don't really feel comfortable making that kind of moral statement. I think there's a disagreement or misunderstanding.
Okay, that happens.
Yeah. And the rest
It's
of
very
you,
hard to get along in large families,
truly. And your name is?
Joram Oxbow, at your service.
It's nice to meet you, Joram.
And I'm Lena, and this is my evil twin sister.
Wally, nice to meet you.
Lena and Wally. It is nice to meet you as well. Come on in. I was making a dinner. I think there might be enough rations here. We can make it more. Have you been traveling long? You look like adventurers.
Well, I would say we do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but adventurer is a good enough name for it. Yeah, let me help you with that soup.
Awesome. She will just nod and let you assist her in making the food for the evening. Is Joram proficient in any kind of particular soup?
All of the recipes that Joram would know would be very old, but I imagine that they follow them to the letter.
Okay.
Because they can't taste or smell very well.
This is delightful.
And Joram won't eat anything, but will just quietly hide that fact.
Brilliant.
And I think Lena, kind of her eyes go wide as they volunteered to do this, And actually, yeah, I don't know if Wally can taste. But yeah, I think she just looks around at the others and hopes we have a good dinner.
In Iris's background, she has this. She's Outlander, so she can find food.
Yeah.
For, I think for up to 5 people. So
Yeah.
she's going to like skip and do the whole Sound of Music spin around the valley and find.
Amazing. I'm
come
here
up
for it.
with things.
Yeah, you're able to go out into is it like a roll, like a survival roll, or it just I'm pretty sure I'm familiar with that. It just is like this is a thing you can do. I'm pretty sure that's how it's stated.
It's just the thing background.
Yep. So you're able to go around. You're able to find some wild berries. There's some unattended birds' nests if you wish to get some eggs or different things. And you're able to forage up enough food. Orla already had some kind of military rations, but with your effort, you have an actual proper meal. And she seems very grateful for that. You're able to sit down and eat a wonderful meal. Over the campfire, Orla will remove her breastplate, which actually, everybody go ahead while we were like around this camp. Roll me another perception check. Oh, dang, we got some good rolls.
23.
We got Wally with a 21, Joram with a 7. What did Iris get?
15.
A 15. Okay, Joram, we're going to start with you. You're very busy, preoccupied with the soup. And it's almost like you're trying to recall the image of the pages where these recipes are. Because there's one word you can't remember. Was it cauliflower or coriander? You're trying to like remember exactly because you have a feeling it's going to matter. And so you're more...
Any allium do? Or does it have to be an onion? Garlic is a lot like onions from what I remember. God, it's been a long time since I've eaten.
And because of this, you're not really paying attention super closely to your surroundings. Iris, you are going around foraging, but with a 15, you're seeing that this seems like a military encampment. There's clearly setups for multiple people. There are, clothes hanging on a wash line. A small group of people, not many, but it's a standard situation. Wally and Lena, as you kind of sit there relaxing and tending to your gear, you'll notice more things about Orla herself. She is, again, clad in this actually very impressive plate mail that's engraved with mountains along the pauldrons and chest plate and ornate, like, filigree detail. You'll also notice that she has a large burn that's running up the side of her neck that she's kind of bandaged over. And you'll see that her armor is in fact scorched in a couple places. Lena, you would see that she's actually tried to scrub the ash off. And with your 23 just being slightly higher, when the wind blows through the trees, you'll see that she kind of flinches away from it as if like expecting something to descend, but will continue to hold her own. You guys are able to sit down for a meal. Orla seems content with you all here, and so what brings you to the valley? Are you just passing through? I feel that most people are.
Yes, we are just passing through. And yeah, we just came upon your campsite.
Oh.
Although there's always time for a detour if there are any historical locations of note around here.
She kind of tilts her head to the side at the mention of a historical site. You wouldn't happen to be looking for work, would you?
Do you need work done?
Well,
I missed the help
That's a
wanted
rude
sign
thing
on the
to
edge of the
say.
camp.
Well, I don't... You all seem rather kind, and I wouldn't normally just ask anyone. I would try to take care of it myself, but things have gone a little bit sideways as of late. I could pay you. I would pay you. I think that we even have some here I could pay in advance.
More so, I'm curious. This looks rather like a military camp. Where's the rest of your regiment?
They were out in an excursion. They've not come back yet. She'll pull away her hair and show the burn more visibly. I barely made it out with my own life. You asked earlier about the evil quadruplets, and I'll admit I was kidding with you a little bit there. There's a conflict, I guess you could call it, a clash with a warlock over here in the mountains, and she's going to gesture back along the mountain ridge. Kind of the canyon like came and opened up, and to the west of where you came out, you'll look up kind of above the trees, and she's pointing in that direction. There's something going on. There's a twisted magic user there atop the nearby peaks, and they've been summoning beings down into the valleys, strange abominations of wind and fire. My regiment, this army, has assembled to try to drive them back. My regiment was sent as a forward company to try and deal with the warlock ourselves, but things went a little, as I said, sideways. You all seem capable. It would be wonderful if I could have your assistance in this.
Which warlock is it?
Is it Ray?
Is it Ray?
Oh, I remember Ray. Ray's an asshole.
Yeah.
We just needed to relocate him. He needs time to mature.
He's the worst.
I don't know who Ray is, but this warlock's name is Aaron.
ER or AA?
Aerin.
Oh.
That's an unusual one.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Splitting the difference. No, it's definitely not Death Ray.
Oh.
No.
Oh, Death Ray. So edgy.
You see, I was hoping to head up into the wizard's, or the warlock's tower, rather, and try to confront Aaron. Try to convince her that whatever it is she's doing is harming the people who live here.
But it didn't go well.
Well, you could see that I didn't make it very far.
Did you see her, or did she just kind of do her warlock thing from her warlock tower?
Well, she sent down assistants, elementals, that split my regiment from myself. I'm assuming that they'll be making for camp at any moment if they survived.
Have you gotten any treatment for your burn?
She will kind of glance at it again and shrug. We have some salves. I've done what I can. It's fine. It will heal. My hope is that soon the others will return and we can head back for the main encampment. But until then, I don't feel right leaving them. You know?
That's honorable. What time of day is it, DM?
It's passing into night, so it's
Okay.
like you're gonna be kind of settled here for the evening.
Okay. I think Denlana's like, but yeah, if you need assistance, we've tussled with a warlock or two on our travels. We'd be more than happy to assist you.
That would be really great. I can give you directions, and hopefully you'll be able to make it further than me and my companions were able to. I have a feeling that you will, given how easily you were able to enter the valley at all.
It's a really nice valley.
It is.
Yes, did you see that sunset earlier? Incredible in all my years.
It
It
is
was
beautiful.
I danced in it.
It's home. It has been for a long time. She'll take a deep breath and say, well, if you're willing to help me, as I said before, we can pay you, though Joram, you mentioned maybe wanting to see some historical sites. I could perhaps get you an audience with our local lord. He has an impressive library, and there's also the catacombs beneath the castle. If that's something that would interest you, I could maybe arrange for this to happen.
Libraries and a catacomb? Now you're speaking my language.
So is Erin from here, from the valley as well?
Yes, she is.
Do you know her before she decided to send things to hurt everyone?
I knew her once. Yes.
Perhaps
do
you're
you
going
know?
to have to do a little bit more than that. Go on. There's a story there.
You'll see that she kind of stiffens a little bit and seems visibly uncomfortable. I knew her. We were very close. She chose a different path, away from mine. I'd prefer not to get into the details. And she'll reach up and put her hand on the burn. It's rather painful at the moment. You understand?
Yeah. Why would she? Do you have any idea why she would do this?
She's bent on destruction. She's doesn't care. She has a goal. I don't know what it is. But she doesn't care who or what gets hurt as she chases after it. You should be really careful.
Joram is going to lean over to Wally, or I guess whoever they think is Wally, and kind of behind their hat say, "You don't think it's the twin, do you?"
Oh, I was gonna say that, sometimes sisters just have squabbles. I mean, Lena and I have squabbles all the time.
I think it might be the twin.
I think at this point, yeah, she's used to the tomfoolery at this point, but she stands up and I think she's awkward, but like kind of like walks up to Orla and like, may I can assist with the injury.
Oh, she'll kind of hesitate as if like doing the tough guy act of like, no, it's fine. But then,
I think I do the tough guy act too, and I'm like,
Okay.
don't worry about it, and like kind of like grab her like by the shoulder and cast Cure Wounds.
Awesome. Yeah, you lay your hand on and cast Cure Wounds, and you watch as the skin near your hand, the edges of the burn start to kind of soften and lighten as it begins to heal, just slowly, and you can tell that the magic has taken hold and will continue to heal this burn. She sighs a relief. Thank you. It'll be a lot easier to sleep tonight, that's for certain.
Yes, and then you'll be ready when your friends return.
Yes.
And Lena returns back to sit next to Wally.
I have a question. Is it close to her heart at all, or is it like
It's like up here, like it's kind of down across her collarbone.
like something glanced past her, but hit her?
Yeah, it looks like a whip or something, almost like fire, just kind of up across here.
Okay, but, Orla, was anybody with you when you got hurt?
Yes, my scouting party. We were heading up, trying to find the best way to approach the tower when we were attacked in the forests. Fire and wind elementals. They descended and, well, we all got separated. Some of the horses panicked, others fell. I just barely made it out with George there. And she looks back over at the horse, who is continuing to happily munch on the grass.
Is the horse injured at all?
If you want to go ahead and take a look, you can see that, like, there are parts that are a little singed, but George seems generally a-okay. You can also tell that there are some minor, like, cuts and stuff that have been very carefully tended to. What's your passive perception or investigation?
12.
Yeah, you can tell that Orla has seen to George's well-being.
Okay.
All right. Well, Orla, you should get some rest, and
Yes.
we'll take shifts and make sure to let you know if your friends arrive.
Thank you.
Actually, Lena, we don't need to. You guys can rest. I've got this. I can take the watch. I only need, I'll be aware and around for a good 6 hours. So.
Oh, okay, of course.
That's amazing that you're able to continue to adventure with so little rest. Are you sure?
Oh, I'll be fine.
Well, all right. I believe you. She will gather up her items and turn to one of the little structures, preparing to turn in for the evening. Thank you, Joram, Iris, Lena, and Wally. I appreciate it. I know I have a good feeling about this. I think you're really going to be able to help me and my people. And she will step into her tent to rest for the evening. Go ahead and you guys can determine how you want to set up watches, and we will continue on.
So I have Sentry's Rest.
Okay.
So when you take a long rest, you must spend at least 6 hours in an inactive, motionless state. You appear inert, but it doesn't render you unconscious, and you can see and hear as normal.
Okay. Awesome. I'm still going to have you roll perception checks, because, like, it doesn't mean you have to rest, but you will need to do perception checks. And are you guys just going to have him, because it's like 8 hours is a long rest, right? So we've got 2 hours unaccounted for?
Joram only needs to be inert for about 4 hours a night.
Amazing.
And so we'll just be up late and then collapse behind Wally in a pile of bones for a brief while and then kind of reform in the morning.
Awesome. Iris, go for it.
She doesn't need to sleep. She meditates semi-consciously for 4 hours.
Amazing. Amazing. So we have the Lena, do you magically also not need the power of sleep?
No, I am a half elf, sadly. But I think as a soldier, like, this is the longest she's been able to sleep, but that disturbs her since everyone else is always like awake or doing their thing. And so she gets the bare minimum of sleep, and then she'll just sit there or just lay there with her eyes closed as people run around and experience life.
Okay.
Joram has been, throughout the course of our travels together, like knitting you like a very cozy wool blanket while you're sleeping.
Oh no, yeah, and I'm aware of it, and I take very good care of it.
I think Iris leaves little presents, like, berries or a flower or just little trinkets when you're sleeping. She'll just like put them by your pillow.
It's almost like Sleeping Beauty. You guys like adorn me every night just because I am vulnerable.
Oh, isn't it adorable how people sleep? I wish I still slept.
For those of you in inert states or periods of meditation, if you are planning to help with the watch, please roll perception for me. All right, we got a 15 for Wally.
I got a dirty
Coming.
20.
Dirty 20 for Iris.
Ugh. And 11.
All right.
I promise I'm good at some things.
We'll start with Joram. Joram, you are taking your watch. You're sitting as night falls. It's a nice cool breeze channeled from the canyon comes down into the meadow and rustles the grass and the leaves. And it is quiet and peaceful. Though Orla clearly told you that there is conflict, it doesn't seem to be present for this night, as you're able to just kind of enjoy the soft lulling breeze and trees and think, of that one book whose author you can't quite remember, but you're pretty sure they were a hack. What was his name again?
Joram will very quietly take out an ocarina or like a flute or something and play a little tune that goes.
Very good. Very good. Wally, you at a 15 experience the same things. It's very peaceful, very lovely. However, you do notice as like the night goes on that there doesn't seem to be any like night creature sounds. Like there's no hooting of the owls or like rummaging of different creatures. And there is the silence that's it's uncomfortable. And I think speaks to what Orla was saying about there being trouble here in the valley. Iris, with your dirty 20, you are able to keep a bright eye out for your entire watch. And again, being kind of more in tune with nature, are observing everything around you. You're able to see like up above the trees. There's a couple of times you hear out like in the distance loud like eruptions of flame that you're not quite sure because a large gust of wind will cut across. And you know that these are not normal sounds, but they do sound distant and not immediately pressing. As such, you are all able to pass through the evening unharmed. There's no immediate threat. And wake up the next day well rested, all slots returned to you, and ready to go. Orla will wake up. She will set about the camp and go to you. All right. Well, thank you again for your assistance with the watch. It was wonderful to have a full night's rest without having to worry. I can point you in the direction of the tower and send you that way. I hope that you'll be very careful as you go.
The fire and the wind are dancing. She'll like point to that direction. Do you hear it at night?
Yes. It's probably more elementals sent down from the tower. Probably sent to destroy more of the valley. Did they sound close? Were they coming in this direction? Do you know?
No, they were just kind of out there doing their thing.
That's good. That's good. Hopefully reinforcements will arrive, or at least the rest of my party. It's my intention to kind of follow you a ways into the woods and then try to go find them, or at least try to report back to the main camp. If you're ready now, I can guide you.
Yes, I think so. Is Wally still disguised as me?
No, that would have dropped when I went into my sleep stance.
Cool. But yeah, I think Nina gets her armor ready. She has black with red accents, leather armor, and she has a dark black cloak with the inside just blood red, and like she's like ready for battle, and she turns to her party. She's like, "Are you guys ready? There might be some trouble up ahead."
Do what we gotta do.
Joram will nod, and then Lena will hand you a small vial of blue liquid, and you know that like Joram every day is just like before everyone else wakes up is just like tinkering with alchemical solutions. So you can drink that potion and add a D4 to get a D4 added to every attack, roll, and saving throw for a minute.
Okay. She thanks them and puts it in her little pouch. And she turns to Orla. All right. Keep close just in case things sneak up behind us, but we'll do what we can. And I think, yeah, she leads the party in the direction that she points out.
Yeah. Orla will saddle George as you guys are kind of getting prepared, and she will mount and ride over and say, follow, gesture for you to follow. She'll lead you through a small deer path in the woods for a little ways, heading back kind of up towards the mountain. Eventually, she'll stop at a crossroads where the deer path splits, one going deeper into the woods, the other one climbing up to the mountains. And she will gesture in that direction, saying, "That's the way to the tower. Joram, you seem interested in ancient things. It was held by a different warlock in times gone by. I would be very careful. There might be traps or tricks involved."
What did you say was the name of the closest settlement?
The closest settlement? It's Damar.
Damar.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to roll a history check to see if I know anything about the
Perfect.
previous occupant.
Yeah, go for it.
History.
Dirty 20. Yeah, so you think back to Damar, and the name sounds familiar. You know that Damar is ruled by a king, who, for all the records that you have, is very just and kind. He was married and had children, 2, if you recall correctly. He had a wife that you knew was a powerful caster, and had a reputation for being particularly adept with water magic. You, as far as this tower, you're not quite certain, because there wasn't really any outstanding magical aficionados in the valley, if that makes sense. This wasn't typically a place where people would post up. It is a rather pleasant area, so it's not really a place that moody broody warlocks or wizards would turn to and be like, you know where I should set up my summer lair is Damar.
Okay, good to know.
Joram, she said Damar?
Yeah, she said Damar.
Damar had a Waffle House, didn't it? Man, I want to try Waffle House.
Waffles?
We do have waffles. That's a specialty.
Maybe after we're done, as she tries to focus the group like usual.
Do you put berries on the waffles? I like it when you put berries on the waffles.
Oh, yes.
If
Of course.
I have to wait for my books, you have to wait for your waffles. Now let's get our buns in action and go find us a warlock.
But I want waffles now.
Oh, we're looking for a warlock? I'm a warlock.
No, specific
Okay,
warlock.
waffles.
I think Lena gets exasperated and it's waves her hand. All right, everyone, this way, up to the tower.
Waffles
Okay.
that way?
Yes,
Okay.
let's go.
Lena will lead you up the path that climbs up into the mountains. You will, Orla will wave and disappear into the woods behind you. Just as quietly as she can. You guys will travel up along this path that will eventually turn into a winding road that switchbacks across the mountains. And as you come around the corner, you are able to see in the distance a tall, it almost looks blue in this morning sun as it hits against the dark gray mountains, and polished. You see it kind of looming in the distance. It is a sight to behold. It's a long tower with a single entrance opening up in it, and there seems to be a bunch of windows up at the top of the tower and a singular spire leading up. Go ahead as you're going up this road. Everybody make me a survival check.
Ooh.
Oof.
9.
Oof. Okay. 16. What do we got for Iris?
Stay alive. Stay alive.
A 9.
A 9? Okay. So Joram, you're kind of taking up the front. You're leading as you're confident. Now with your remembered knowledge of Damar, you're feeling a little more secure that this situation is surely something that you can handle. If it
Durham
was...
is reading off memorized genealogies of Damar.
Yes, absolutely you are. And you're confident in that ability. And as you're leading, you like kind of see out of the corner of your eye, a rock falls loose from the cliff above, and you're able to dodge it, calling out to your party behind you. But the 3 others are unable to see it as it comes clattering down. Everybody else, go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw.
Look out!
Look out.
13.
A 16.
Okay.
And a 2.
And a 2. Oh no, I didn't see.
Well, Wally was crushed by fallen rocks. It was nice playing, everybody.
Okay.
No, what went wrong? I said look out.
So, Iris saves. She'll only take 5 damage. But Lena and Wally, you will take 10 bludgeoning damage as there's this rock slide that kind of comes down off the edge of this and batters. So you're able to remain on the road and are fine in that regard. However, you got some fresh bruises.
Are you doing all right, Wally?
Yeah, I'll be okay. I got some fresh dents that I'll have to bang out later.
Okay.
Joram removes her hand and shows that it now looks like a small hammer. I can give you a hand with that later.
That sounds good. I'm definitely going to need it.
You guys continue to climb and eventually reach the foot of the tower, where 2 very dark blue, like they look black, but as the sun hits them, they kind of ripple, and you can tell that they're actually a very deep, deep navy blue, and they look almost wet to the touch. Waves carved beautifully into the sides. You have reached the foot of this tower, a looming gate before you. What would you like to do?
Should we do it my way or the Jorm way?
Well, first I'm going to start by taking some rubbings of this absolutely marvelous script and pulls out like a huge piece of paper and a piece of charcoal and presses it against the like wave-like inscriptions and gets a copy of it, rolling it up.
Yeah,
before you can roll it up, as you place your hand in that paper on the door, you watch Joram disappear.
I wanted to do it my way, and I gingerly go and touch the same area they touched.
Lena disappears.
How close can I get to the gate?
I mean, it's just a door. You can walk right up to it. Like they're touching it with their hands.
Okay. I'm gonna can I miss these steps to the other side?
Of the door? You have to be able to see, I'm pretty sure, beyond.
Okay, so then I'll touch it.
You disappear. Wally, the Wally stands alone.
Nothing good can come from touching this door. But I don't really have much other choice since everybody else is already just kind of yeeted into nothingness. So I'm going to back up a little bit and get a running start and just charge towards the door.
Okay. You start running. And as you do, like, are you putting a shoulder down? Are we
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna like
football
try and,
styling?
yeah, like try to charge into it.
Okay. The second that your shoulder touches the door, you feel, and each of you had felt this in your own turn, a rippling around you. It's almost as if the door pulled you in, and there's a moment that your breath catches, and you're a Warforged, so you're less concerned about this, but everyone else, maybe except for Joram, if it was a reflex, he'd kick in. It feels a little bit for a moment like you're drowning. And you like kind of go to like inhale deeply, but there's no air, and it causes you to panic as you're hurtling through this like darkness, through this, and then suddenly there's heat. Suddenly it's hot, and you open your eyes, and you're standing on a platform. First Joram pops through, then Lena, then Iris. Wally, as you come through, you kind of charge forward, your foot hitting the ground, and it is hot. It is very hot where you are. Can I get Constitution saving throws from everybody? Oh, these are some good ones.
I got 14.
A 14? Perfect. You all, Joram was the closest, but you all save. You're able to kind of like take a deep breath and like fan your clothes a little bit and get just enough air moving around your face that you're fine. In front of you is another set of doors, massive and stone. In front of them are two short men. Their hair licks up in flames. It seems like there's a strange tie holding it together and a loose ponytail that waves behind them, like the flickering of a candle. Long flame beards drip like down the front of their armored bodies, and they hold long spears and are standing there kind of chatting to each other. Wally, as you kind of come through and stomp with your feet, trying to catch yourself so you don't continue to barrel forward, they lazily look up at you, and one of them goes, "Oi! Who the hell are you?" And that's where we're going to go to intermission. So everybody, go ahead, go get a drink, hang out for a second, and we will be right back. And we are back. Thanks, everybody, for letting us take a quick break. We hope that you had a wonderful break as well. As a reminder, our party has just stepped is a bit of a strong word. We're pulled through the doors of this tower and have found themselves in some hot water? It's unclear. There are two individuals standing at the door nearby who are looking at you and seem confused as to why you are here. One of them will again call out, "Oi, what are you doing here?"
I've got this. Hail, Hotman.
Hey, Hotman. Hey, it's my team. I like the Hotman. You know the chant about the Hotman.
No, but I am keen to learn.
Well, let me tell you what, and you'll watch as the other one like rolls its eyes and kind of like rubs his brow as he goes, "Oi, oi, oi, we're hot, we are the hottest men," and like starts doing like a weird little like dance and like clap. And the other one just goes, "Oh, blimey, not
Can I
again."
like applaud? Can she applaud?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Applaud.
Phenomenal.
Joram will scratch furious notes documenting this song and dance.
I think Lena kind of looks at the other one and kind of nods, and I understand how you feel.
He will look at you and kind of tap his spear on the ground. "And what are you doing here?"
What's up with your voice, dude?
"Pardon?"
Why does it sound like you're trying not to cry?
I'm not trying to cry. This is just what I sound like. What's up with your voice? Why do you sound like you're being a judgmental asshole?
Because I am a judgmental asshole. Name's Wally, by the way. It's nice to meet you.
I'm Erg.
Greetings, Erg.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
Is
here.
that short for anything? Ergonomic?
no, it's just Erg.
I'm
We're here.
Iris.
Hello. Oi, so my name's Jonathan. And he seems very excited about that. And again, Erg goes, oh, geez. Jonathan's the name, guarding's the game. So I don't know how you got here, but you're gonna have to turn around and go.
I mean, sure, dude, but like, how?
Just turn around and go. If you turn around and look behind you, it is just an open chasm filled with hot magma.
So you want us
I
to
don't
just like?
mean to put a damper on the situation here, but that seems like a short walk off of a falling pier.
I'm just gonna
A
nod
long walk off a
furiously.
short pier. Fuck.
Oh, well, it's just, yeah, I don't know, man. We're supposed to guard this door and not let anybody through. Oh, wait, that's right. We're not supposed to let anybody through, not even Hotman fans.
Well, what if I told you that we are nobody?
Nobody. Jonathan will squint at you. Go ahead and roll me deception or persuasion.
Would this count as pretending to be somebody I'm not? Or
Does a pun count?
Does a pun count? Oh my god. Oh no, I just got it. Oh.
Before Jordan makes that roll.
oh,
Never mind.
I haven't looked at the result.
So
I'm the
before
GM.
Joram makes that roll, I want to turn around and I'm going to hand Joram an orb. And this orb is a talisman. And as long as Joram is
ponder it.
holding that talisman, they can add a D4 to their roll.
hell yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Nope. I ponder the orb for 3, which brings my whole roll up to 15.
Jonathan will look at you. Hey, you know, I'm tempted to think that perhaps you are somebody, because nobodies don't know the Hotman, but I feel like if you were somebody, I would have known you, considering that you seem to be so interested in the Hotman. Jonathan seems very confused, and Urga goes, right, well, listen, we're just here to protect this door, so I don't know, I mean, and I guess, well, and he's gonna reach into his pocket, and from his coat pocket, what are your guys' passive perceptions? Remind me again.
Mine is
That's a 10.
14.
Lena's, this is 16.
Okay.
Passive. Is that passive wisdom?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, passive
Yeah.
wisdom.
That's 15.
Okay. Anything 15 or higher, we'll see as he pulls out this little book. It looks dark gray and ashy, and on the front, it's more like a pamphlet than a book. And on the front, in glowing, scrawling letters that kind of pulse with heat, it's written, so you want to guard a door. And he's going to open it up and start flipping through the pages. Well, I guess we could ask you, state your business.
We're here to see the master of the tower.
The master of the day. Sorry, I gotta turn to page 78.
Or mistress, or mistrix.
Or
We're not here to judge or make any assumptions.
oh, well, that's a totally different page. But so let me just start with 68. And he's gonna flip through.
Erg, my friend.
Yeah,
Before
Wally,
you-
what's up? My guy,
before you
my
get
homie,
too-
my dude.
Too deep into that. You said you're here to protect the door. What if we were to just walk through you open the door, we walk through the door, you don't touch the door. You're still protecting the door. No damage is done to the door.
He looks at the
Seems like a
pamphlet.
sturdy door and a sturdier plan.
He looks over at Jonathan, and Jonathan's just like, "No, I didn't read the papers. You know that. I can't read." And Erg goes, well, can you roll me a persuasion check, please? I mean, it doesn't technically say anything about if they don't want to hurt the door. I mean, they seem like good men. They know the Hotman. They're Hotman fans. And yeah, I know you're really jazzed about the new season. And have you seen the new arenas? I've not seen the new arenas. I've been here on this new gig of ours. Well, yeah, well, looks pretty great. You know, they have new weaponry and you can do a lot of cool stuff. Let me just check really quick. But I think your logic's pretty sound, if I'm being honest. And he will continue to look through the pamphlet. Jonathan will excitedly look at you both. Or all of you. So what are you here for? What are you going in the fancy tower for?
We're tourists and we just like to view fancy towers.
That seems weird.
I liked your dance a lot. I'm such a huge fan.
Oh, thank you. It is the team spirit chant, and I happen to be one of the captains of the, different flame forums for the Hotman. It's, pretty prestigious, actually. It's not, says Erg as he continues to look through the manual.
Can I meet any other the Hotman?
Jonathan will look at you. How do you handle...
Are there other Hotmen in our area?
I believe there might be. Might be a few. They've just been summoning quite a bit of us through. Quite a bit of us coming through. I mean, we're new as of yesterday. New job as of yesterday. See, hence why we're not quite wrapped into shape. There was supposed to be someone coming down giving us some training, but it seems they've been delayed. It's fine. I'm self-sufficient.
So they're over there. They're in there.
Go for it, Joram, and then we'll get to Iris.
Sorry to interrupt, but you said something about being summoned into there and an arena. I'm enthusiastic about the Hotman, but I need more details. Summoned where? Arena what?
Well, do you want me to explain that part, or do you? No, it's all right, mate. I got it. Right, listen. Well, first of all, do you know what I am? And he will smile a cheeky grin as his flame beard continues to, flow and billow out, and his hair above his head.
A man made of fire?
Can I take a stab without rolling, or should I roll because I'm not going to get it right?
Either. It is up to you. I am happy to accept a guess or a roll.
Well, based on what very little I know about you, I would say that you, chap, are some kind of fire elemental.
That'd be right. And now, let me guess. Let me ask you a question. How many of people like me of my particular physique do you think you've seen?
What's the time span there? I've been wandering around for a very long time. It's just...
Well, I've only been here a day.
I frankly don't remember.
Yeah, I've only been here a day, and Erg's been here. What, is this day 3, mate? Yeah, it's day 3. The orientation was a little rushed, but, they're good snacks.
What did they have waffles?
They did, and we didn't have those in the plane of fire. These waffles are brilliant. They're amazing. You put little berries on them. There's a whipped cream.
Oh, I cannot wait. Which way is the orientation again?
Oh, it's through the door.
Okay, I need
Point's
to go.
fine too.
I don't want to be late. Am I late?
Erg's gonna show. Well, I haven't heard anything from anybody else since we got posted here, so I don't know. But I can't see anything in here that just says, I mean, if you're not here to hurt the door, I guess you're fine to go if you want.
Yeah, we've got orientation.
Right, yeah. Orientation. Yeah, listen, can you bring me one of the fruit cups? We've been here for all day. I'm not sure when we're gonna get relieved, you know?
Yeah, we'll bring you a fruit cup when we come back.
Right.
You have it on my honor.
Great.
Don't
Jonathan's...
promise.
Go for it.
Yeah, I just like whisper, don't promise anything you can't keep. Remember.
Why wouldn't I be able to bring them a fruit cup? It doesn't seem terribly complicated. I would like a fruit cup.
Could be fruit
Using
cups.
fruit to make a cup? That sounds brilliant.
No, you're misunderstanding. As we kind of walk through the doorway.
As Jonathan does, he will look over at Erg and go, yeah, right. I wouldn't hold my breath if I were you on that fruit cup, mate. And Erg goes, oh, as the doors kind of start to close behind you.
Hold my breath. Are we going to be able to... well, not me, obviously. How long can you two hold your breath?
Not long. I'm not a good swimmer.
I don't know. I could start like practicing, but I don't want to get down there and then we can't breathe. And then I wasted my time holding my breath because I was practicing to tell you how long.
Well, I'm sure nothing will come of it. Let's go.
You guys enter into this tower, and as you walk in, you're greeted by a large foyer with ornate tapestries and murals lining the different walls. It is beautiful in here, and there's a light that seems to come from nowhere above that ripples on the ground. You know, like how sunlight filters through like water. There's the beautiful blue lines that dance on the ground. You see this as it just glows, and it kind of like when you're in an aquarium, that kind of quiet stillness, but you can hear water moving around you. That's the sound that you hear. It's almost like there's a weight pressing in on the walls, and it's very, very quiet.
This reminds me of the time I walked through the Great Lake. It took me 3 days to get the fish out of my trousers.
Why were your trousers loose enough to have fish in them?
There's not that much in them besides, and Jerome will pull back a sleeve, besides just a couple of bones. Gotta keep on appearances, though.
You should really eat more.
You understand the nature of my situation?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that you do. I haven't eaten in a very, 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 very long time.
Exactly. That's why you're all bones.
Well, can't argue with that logic. Let's bang on.
As you start to step through this foyer, you hear a small sound off to the side, like this, almost like a small little rock slide, like the crackling of rocks. And as you turn, you are met with a large mural, and beneath it is a small creature that tilts its head at you, and there are two glowing white eyes that flicker like as if a flame. It has 4 legs adorned with tiny little paws, little pebbles each marking out individual toes. Its ears are pointed with green shoots of grass coming out and pulling away from its face and whiskers, and a small tail that looks like a conjoined rocks kind of flicks on the end, and you see a small silver collar around its neck. I'll go ahead and show you what you see.
Oh, how adorable.
Sitting beneath this mural.
I would like to roll to know what the fuck is that.
Roll me
I rolled Arcana. Is that any good?
Arcana. I was going to say Arcana or Animal Handling, and you crit, so you know exactly what this is. This appears to be a small earth elemental who has chosen the form of a cat. And with an Arcana Act 2, I'm just going to throw it in. You see on the little collar, there's a small little plate. And as you squint to see it, you see the word Pebble inscribed in the little name tag.
Does a skeleton need to squint to see more clearly?
Yes, he does.
Have you ever seen Halloween Town?
Yes.
No.
I'll find you like a gift of that skeleton.
But you can see them squint.
There's a little, the motes of my eyes get like a little smaller and narrower.
And you're able to make out Pebble.
I imagine that Joram has like glowing little motes of light where pupils would be.
I love this so much.
Appears to be some kind of earth elemental. Greetings, fair Pebble. My name is Joram Oxbow, and we are looking for the proprietor of this maybe warlock tower.
Pebble seems uninterested in what you have to say, and will raise a small paw and begin to lick it before rolling over on its back and like kind of showing its belly and like rolling back and forth on the ground, pawing up at some of these beautiful like yarns that are coming down around the mural on the wall.
Can I pet you, Pebble? You're so cute.
Pebble is a cat and will not respond, but will instead kind of look at you. But you are more than welcome to roll an animal handling check.
Oh dear. Okay. Hopefully this is a good check.
Reminds me of a cat
No.
I used to have.
I got 9.
A 9. Yeah, you kind of come up and holding out your hand, doing the like, here, kitty, 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 kitty. And Pebble will roll over and kind of look at you and see your hand and kind of sniff. But as you come within like 6 inches, it will quickly like roll up to its feet and dart away up the stairs away from the mural. However, Iris, now that you're standing there, you are going to look up and see on this mural. It appears to be a woman. She is dressed in silver and white, that robes that wrap around her form. She has dark hair and brilliant blue eyes. And behind her are waves that look like they're coming up and crashing around her with like a being whose hands are kind of outstretched. The woman is strikingly beautiful, and she stands resolute. And as you kind of take that in, you look around and you see that there are other murals featuring this woman. One where she is engaging in acts of heroism, but not in like huge theatrics, more like small things. Like there's one where she's holding back water from a dam that seems to have broken and come through. Another where it looks like she's standing over fields with dried crops and making it rain. And there's just different visuals, whether it's tapestry or murals around this room.
I'm gonna I don't think I have far to go, but I'm gonna like jack to everyone else, say, come look, I found the stars. There's pictures of her everywhere.
Wow, these are beautiful.
Yeah, she's really pretty, isn't she? And look right there, she's saving people, and right there she's doing something else heroic. Like I said, she's the star of the show.
Yeah, I wonder what made her turn bad.
Maybe
Who
she
said
thinks
she did.
Oh, I assumed this was Aaron. Usually the warlocks we meet are very self-centered.
Well, I mean, did you see
sir?
all these beautiful pictures of her?
Ma'am.
You sure that's
No offense.
Look, I've been around the block a few times. Let me tell you, these kinds of towers, they're very hard to make yourself. So a lot of times, you'll get hooked up with like a warlock real estate agent. In those situations, the tower can change hands dozens of times. This might not even be the current owner.
This is actually a perfect time to first of all thank Mr. Saito for our TBK deck of many things. Thank you, Mr. Saito. I've gone ahead and rolled, and we have our item, which Joram, this fits perfectly in this moment, as we have rolled Manifestation. The GM chooses a random player, Joram. The chosen player must introduce a truth into the current session. The introduced truth will be session specific. Haha, yes, because there's only the one. And will only remain in effect past blah, blah, blah. So, Joram, you get to introduce a truth about this session that we will have to accept and run with.
Oh my gosh.
If you need time to consider it, feel free to take some.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I would like some time to consider it. I'll
Phenomenal.
be pondering as we play through the scene.
Phenomenal. So you're kind of talking about this real estate agent. Are you all looking at this mural? If so, roll me investigation if you're kind of like taking closer looks.
$19.
Okay.
13.
Okay.
7.
Yeah, 13 and 19 are both high enough. As you look around, you'll see that there are small inscriptions beneath the murals. What languages do you guys speak?
Draconic, Dwarvish, Elvish, Common.
Common and deep speech.
Okay.
Elvish and Sylvan, even though I can't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the common, dwarvish, elvish, halfling, and sylvan.
Okay. Good news. It's in Sylvan. So you're able to see there is light script that kind of shimmers as you get closer that describe the scenes of what you're seeing. So one is Lady Laurel protects the village. Lady Laurel brings the rain. Lady Laurel and her power is the main mural that Pebble was so happily curling up underneath.
See, Lady Laurel. Now that, as I know from my previous research, as I was telling you on the walk up here, was the queen to the king of the kingdom. This warlock is named Aaron. Aaron Laurel? Ha ha, unlikely.
When you're right, I guess.
What happened to her?
Would I know that based on my previous history check?
I'm going to make you roll another one because this is so specific to like the individual and not the region, kind of different checks.
Okay.
A 10.
Is that not good enough? Because I know what I would say if it's not good enough.
This is what you will know, and then you can say whatever you need to, because you would know something.
Okay.
A 10 will give you that you don't know what happened to Lady Laurel. However, you seem to remember that there was it wasn't pleasant. There was some sort of altercation.
What do you expect me to know? It was bad. I don't remember. What do I look like? A fucking book?
Well,
But
you know a lot of things, but if
And-
something bad happened, that's kind of sad. She looked like she was a really nice person.
So you were in this foyer. There's a main staircase that leads up and away, and that's about it. What do you guys want to do?
I think we want to head up, and I think Pebble ran up that way too, right?
Pebble went up the stairs, correct?
Yeah, I think let's follow the Earth Elemental and see where that takes us.
Great. You begin to climb the stairs, and they wrap around in your traditional kind of tower climb. And you go for longer than you would expect. Like you keep thinking that as you come around the corner, surely there'll be a door, and you know, like maybe this time. And you start to climb, and it reaches a point where you're like uncomfortable at the number of stairs that you've climbed. Who would be up front?
I think. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think I would be at least close to the front because she was following. Well, it's an earth element, but she's calling her a kid. A kitchen.
Yes. Yep. She's following the kitty. Got it.
And then I think I'd be right behind. It's like, hey, let's focus and not just try to play with the cat.
Kitty.
I think Joram, because Joram doesn't gain levels of exhaustion particularly quickly, is just like walking up these stairs, probably hasn't noticed that it's kind of a lot of stairs.
Okay. Awesome. How's Wally holding up?
Wally's just walking up the stairs. He's just being Wally.
Okay. You come around the corner of these stairs, and you see in front of you, there's like, you keep coming around, and you just expect it to open into the next cavern, and sure enough, it does open up, but it's not what you expect. It's these strange tunnels, and there's wind that's like blowing and moving about sporadically. You see about right here, I don't know if you can see that ping, sitting almost expectingly, waiting for you, is another small creature. Its figure kind of like, as the wind brushes past it, sends little bits of water arcing and like spluttering around, and it shakes itself every time the wind kind of moves and twitches its long whiskers as you see another elemental cat.
Wind kitty.
This is actually a water kitty cat.
Oh, sorry, I was wrong.
You're okay.
Water kitty.
There we go. Boop.
Can we see tag on it?
From the distance that you are, not quite yet. However, so there's this long tunnel that continues to go forward to your guys' right. So like down on the map, it tears up higher. Like there's kind of like stairs that lead up. And on your wall, Iris and Wally, the wall that you're standing closer to, are more murals. What would you like to do as my little elemental kitty arrives?
Are they the same person?
Yeah, so roll me a investigation or perception check, and we'll kind of note the amount of detail that you can look at, because these are really ornate. There's a lot going on in these.
You said investigation or what else?
Or perception.
Okay, I'm going to do perception. That's
Okay.
higher.
Go for it.
I got 19.
A 19. What's everybody else doing before we resolve this check?
Joram is probably also interested in the murals.
Okay, go ahead and
More so
roll.
than the cat.
Yep, go ahead and roll.
And if that is a failed check, I can roll a d4 still.
Nope, a 14 is good. A 14 is good. Are Lena and Wally just kind of holding off till these guys check this out?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I'm for sure exhausted as
Okay.
I was counting how many steps.
Brilliant.
Actually, since we did take damage earlier, I'm going to put my hand on Lena and I'm going to cast a level 3 Cure Wounds.
Awesome. So you're kind of healing up. Iris and Joram, you're taking a gander at this. There's a light shimmering off the walls, and there's a cool breeze that's ruffling at your robes and capes and scarves. This mural here is of a woman, again, the same woman as before, surrounded with crashing waves. And like, as you look, there's intricate tile work around her. She seems to have her arms out to her side, reaching out to two children who are kind of coming in from either side. Let's see. Remind me the highest roll here. Yeah. As you look, you're able to determine that the children look very similar. Identical, even. Two small girls. You also notice because you just got it, it looks like the woman is holding her breath. She's kind of like, it's like she's, her like shoulders are back, you know what I mean? And you just get the impression that she's holding her breath and her gaze is looking down the hall towards the far end of the chamber. And then remind me, Iris, what was your roll? 19, right? Yep. And as you're looking at the children, as you're looking at these daughters, you note, you recognize one of them. It is very clearly Orla. And underneath the mural, it says, "The journey forward is breathtaking."
Well, I think we should probably go that way.
Joram is going to point at the one that isn't Orla and say, "This kid looks a lot like Orla."
They're twins.
Right.
And you don't have to breathe, right? Because you're just all bones.
I wouldn't breathe even if I could.
Well, I mean, I don't blame you sometimes. Do you think maybe you should go in the front just in case it's underwater? Because it might be. And it says
I am more than happy to do so. I would say if I couldn't breathe anymore, I would not be able to tell you.
Good point.
Wait,
It might
Iris.
not be as much help as you think.
Iris, let's pull back a second here. Underwater? I can't go underwater. I will rust.
Or maybe it'll be like when we came in and we couldn't breathe.
Wally, don't worry about it. I have grease prepared.
You've just thought of everything, haven't you, Jordan?
Does anyone have a breathing spell?
I do actually have grease prepared.
I know you do. It's amazing.
It's my favorite first level spell. What can I say?
As you guys kind of stand here, try to figure out what to do, the cat is kind of still sitting there in the middle of the hall looking at you till it hears a little crackle of rocks, and it will look up onto the platform up here where it seems Pebble is standing, looking at it, looking at you, looking at it, and preparing to pounce.
I wonder if these cats are territorial like regular cats.
Probably. Does somebody have any like catnip or is really good with cats?
Got an Eldritch Blast.
That would hurt the poor kitties.
Going to say that's not quite the same. Let me look at my inventory. Do I have anything? Oh. For some goddamn reason, my adventuring backpack contains rations in it still.
Okay.
So I find probably some dried fish.
Okay.
And I do what I do with my cats at home, and I put some dried fish behind one of the cats, and then I kind of throw the other towards Pebble.
So you are walking in. You're walking into the room, correct, to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and move your token. Well, you're gonna get right here. I'm gonna move you so you can just see.
That's Wally.
Oh, that's Wally. I picked the wrong one. Derp. There's Joram. Bloop. You're gonna get about right here. And as you step forward, that light breeze that you were feeling is going to increase. And as you continue to step forward, it's going to push harder and harder at you. And it's starting to try to knock you off your feet. The cats seem unaffected. They are sitting there kind of playfully, pouncing at each other as you're trying to step through this wind towards the cat.
Chaps, it got rather breezy in here.
I think I run up and try to assist.
Okay.
and see if I can like, I guess, hold them and like trying to push through. Is it getting like super hard?
Yeah, but here's my deal. Let me like read this really quick. Yeah, so you're going to be more affected because you're as a person who breathes. As you kind of move forward, those winds are going to start battering you. And now with the two of you, the winds are now getting hot. Like, it's like, you know, when you're out in the desert and the wind blows across your skin, like it's hot as you kind of move forward.
You know, when you're out in the desert, why the hell would I go to a desert?
Sometimes you just live there, my guy. It's pretty great.
I
I live in a rainforest, I'll have you know.
So I have minor illusion.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it sounds so silly. Can I put like a red dot on the wall? Like
To try and like tease the cats? Absolutely you can. What's the range of that?
let me see what minor illusion says. You create a sound or image in range that lasts for the duration, which is 1 minute.
Okay.
I also have my note. Nope.
I'm trying to read it to see what it says.
No, you're good. You're good. Take your time.
Well, it says the image can be no larger than a 5-foot cube, but it doesn't give a range. No, 30 feet. I'm sorry.
Okay, 30 feet. Yeah, so as long as you're going to need to move your token like within the 30 feet of where you want it to be. I'm just going to put these kitty cats down so you can kind of see where they're at. Is there... Oh, that's the wrong one. Moving stuff I shouldn't. As they're kind of playing and scuffling right here.
Okay, can I get within 30 feet of where they're playing?
Let me measure it out and see what did it do. Let me get to the right layer. Perfect. Yeah, so you would have to be by Joram and Lena to do so.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. As you step forward and get close to them, again, the wind is going to pick up and it's hotter now and it is pushing you actively. Like you're able at this point to keep your feet steady, but it's like you get the impression if you're going to keep moving forward, this is going to get more difficult.
Can I see what's in front of us?
You can. It's just continues. The corridor continues on, and you can see at the far end, there's more stairs that lead up. So really, you just need to get, like, if you're trying to get out of this room, continuing forward is the right option.
Would Misty Step help at all? If I could I Misty Step to?
Yeah, Misty Step, that's a range of 30 feet, so you could see it and go 30 feet.
I'll do that.
Okay. So that's gonna put you right by the cats. As you cast Misty Step and you land next to these cats, I'm going to need you to make me a strength saving throw, please.
Sorry.
You're okay. You're good.
I'm allergic to strength saving throws.
Hey, me too.
Whom among us with noses hasn't sneezed at an awkward time?
Now, if you sneeze, that would be really odd about having no nose. Oh, I did pretty good. I got a 16.
Okay, awesome. As you land, the wind, as you've proceeded down this hall, the wind for you has picked up doubly so, and there's a huge gust of wind that tries to knock you down, but you're able to kind of keep your feet, but now the wind is whipping. Back with Joram and Lena, the heat is like increasing with all of you, really. The heat is increasing. Wally, what are you up to?
I'm watching this scene play out, and I'm wondering, how steep are these like ledges downward?
These actually climb up. They're not very tall. I'd say about 5 feet at the tallest, but they're just tiered.
So what I'm wondering is, watching them struggle against the wind, if I can move behind what this looks like a pillar and start to move behind the pillars to get to the end of the room.
Mm-hmm. So as you kind of move forward, the wind again starts to blow against you, and you go to like duck behind that pillar, but you realize the wind is coming from all directions. There doesn't seem to be any. It's coming from the walls itself. Like it's almost as as soon as you think like you kind of brace yourself in one direction to like steady, it comes from another direction as this wind is just whipping through this room.
Okay.
Hey, I want to try something. Mouth breathers, hold your breath.
I think, Lena, like, as she's struggling, she kind of takes a quick breath and just, like, holds it as she tries to still push through.
Okay. Iris, are you holding your breath?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to need Constitution saving throws from both of you to see how successful you are in this.
Oh, 4.
Okay. Do you have any pluses or minuses from chat? You have advantage from Chrissy.
Yeah. I'm totally gonna use that now.
I got
Thank you,
15.
Chrissy. Okay.
Do I need to roll?
15 and an 18. Brilliant.
18. Thank you, Chrissy.
You both, as Joram calls out, mouth breathers. You each take a deep breath and hold it in your chest. And as you do, the wind kind of does one final like push and rush and then fades back into a light breeze.
See what I'm saying? I wouldn't breathe even if I could.
The two cats at your feet, Iris, as you're standing there holding your breath, will look up at you. And the small water cat, you are now able to see its collar says Splash. So you've met Splash and Pebble. And Splash will actually walk up to you and rub up against your leg, leaving a trail of water across your boot as she does so.
Can I pet Splash?
Roll me an animal handling check.
Okay. And I forgot that I had advantage that I didn't use before.
All good. All good. We're using it now for this.
Yeah, I got
I'm ready
4.
for it. A 4?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll it again.
Go for it.
Oh my gosh. Got a 1, so I got 3.
A 3? Yeah,
And then
you
that
go
one.
you go down to pet the cat. And again, in that very coy like kitty way where they see the hand coming, the Splash, it's almost like the water like drops down inside its form more as it skirts under your hand and bounds back up this direction. Pebble shortly behind as they get up on this top part and stare down at you. Their little silver white eyes glowing. Iris and Lena, you did roll well. However, you are holding your breath. So you're going to need to make a choice at some point as to where we go from here.
Shoot. I think, as she's trying to cross, like, the wind stopped, and Joram has, like, trotted off ahead. I slowly make my way through, and then I think, like, halfway, I take another breath, as I can't hold it in.
Okay. As you, like, release and you take a breath, well, actually, Wally, where would you be? I want to make sure everybody's kind of positioned. Iris had her little moment with the cat, so she won't be too far. Joram just trucked along. Where's Wally at?
I'm like behind, like slowly making my way forward.
Okay. Lena, as you exhale to take in another breath, like to breathe, the wind picks up and slams into you. Joram, you're fine. Wally, Iris, and Lena, you, however, I need, go ahead and make me Constitution saving throws.
16.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I rolled it. 12.
12. So everybody above a 10 is fine. Wally. you're kind of walking through, and the sudden gust of wind, like, it picks up, and there's heat that, like, it's so sudden and jarring that as it hits your body, it kind of interferes with some of the magical components that, like, make it so you can operate. And you are going to take a level of exhaustion as this just hot wind just blasts you.
Okay.
Lena, do you attempt to hold your breath again?
Yes. As soon as that happens, I just like shut up and cover my mouth.
All right. I'm going to say, like, you have enough. If the intention is to get out, you're going to be able to get out again with no checks. But if there's anything else you want to check in this corridor, understand that you're just opening up. The longer you spend in here breathing, the more checks you'll have to make.
Yeah. I think, yeah, at that point, like, she just clenches up and tries to hold it in as long as she can and just bolts for the door.
Okay. Iris, Wally, you guys heading for the door?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. You guys make a run for it, reaching the end of the hall, and again, there's a wide door with stairs that lead up, up, up. And you take a moment to do that, like, gasping, like, as you've been holding your breath, and you have successfully traversed this corridor. And as we continue on up through the tower, I'm going to suggest that we take another quick break as we move into the third and final act of this evening's session. So chat, go get more water, stretch, pet your cat, or try to anyways. They're kind of shifty like that. And we'll be right back. And we are back. Thank you, chat, for your patience as we took a little break. Our party has just passed through my wind puzzle and have reached the other side of this corridor. All items intact, if not feeling a little breathless. Joram, you were able to move ahead in front of everyone else and have set up yourself a little bit of a cat picnic with a blanket. Could you describe to chat and the rest of the party what you were attempting to do?
As soon as Joram saw things were going poorly for everybody else, Z just like sighed, rolled their eyes, and took out a blanket, threw it down, and removed a hand and set it under the blanket and started skittering the hand around for the cats to come down and play with.
Go ahead and roll me an animal handling check with advantage because you have a cat toy. And it's literally your hand.
It counts as a tool.
Oh
So
my
I
god.
can technically add my proficiency bonus to this.
Do Joram things so I can just stand forever.
So I rolled an animal handling earlier, and between the two of them, that one's higher. It's a 19.
19.
If I treat my hand as a cat tool.
All right. Yes. So as you're going about this, let me get to my correct window momentarily. Splash the cat will look over and see that your hand is skittering about, and you'll watch like as the white of their eyes like seems to get a little bit brighter. Like much as your pupils are kind of like floating lights, theirs is more of a haze, and you'll watch as it gets more concentrated and yet brighter at the same time. And it will come over to the blanket where you are sitting and like sit and pounce on the blanket, trying to get your hand and begin to play very happily. You are able, should you wish, to reach out and pet Splash the cat.
Insofar as you can pet a cat made of water, Joram will give it a go. Also, if at any point it seems like Splash has cornered the hand, it splits in two and starts skittering that way.
You reach out your hand, your skeletal paw, and you, as you touch the cat, it is surprisingly delightful. The water is warm, and as you run your hand along, there's like a slight dampness to it, but it doesn't linger very long. It's very warm, and the cat is very responsive. It will turn its head to you and begin to like purr. But as it purrs, it sounds more like a babbling brook than an actual cat purr, like a bubbling in the water. as it becomes very content and will walk over and rub against you.
Nice. Did you all have fun?
As Lena kind of like plugging her nose and just like holding her cheeks puffed out, like just vigorously shaking as she's running past.
The rest of you
Sorry about this. Oh,
go for it. Sorry about the
Sorry
continue.
about this splash. I have to pack up and get the hell out of here.
Splash will meow, but it will sound almost like water, like a stone being dropped into water. Like it's more of a ripple than an actual meow, and it's musical and delightful. And it will intertwine itself between your legs, and as you step away, Splash will follow.
How did you get
a
the
little
kitty
bit
to-
fucked up, but delightful.
Iris, you were saying something?
How did you get the kitty to like you?
It's an old trick of the trade. We call that one the Five-Fingered Cat Menace.
You have to teach it to me sometime.
You'll have to be dead.
Oh, okay. Well, when I'm dead, you can teach it to me.
Deal.
I can help with that. I have an
No.
Eldritch Blast.
No. As we've had this conversation many a times.
Wally, you're always looking to blast things. Why can't you just appreciate them as they are?
We should do. We should go to the valley and set up some targets for you to blast,
Been there,
Yes.
done that.
like a contest. You Eldritch Blast.
You impetuous young thing.
Look, I was created by a guy named Geppetto as a tool for war. And sometimes I just need to get those warlike urges out, okay?
Yeah, I get that, but not for your friends.
I'm still hazy on the concept of friends. Like, look, they wanted to be friends with the cat. If being dead helps them become friends with the cat, am I not being a good friend by helping them become dead?
Well, I don't really want to become dead.
I don't really know how I became a skeleton with the sentience and sapience of a long-lived elf. So, seems like a bit of a gamble. But Iris, as I said earlier, feel free to haunt the shit out of me.
I don't really want to.
Well, you are haunting us, but that's besides the point. Let's continue on.
You continue on, moving through the door to another set of stairs. There's a part of you that dies a little bit when you realize that it is, in fact, more stairs. It couldn't have been, I don't know, some strange pulley system or an escalator. Go for it.
Does part of Jordan die too? Because Jordan's already dead.
A little bit of, it's almost like he mourns the ligaments that he would have had, but but in this moment, there's like, actually, it's almost like the opposite. You know how like necromancy like heals? He goes, it's good to be dead.
As they trot up the stairs as us normies or fleshies struggle and getting our cardio in.
This is a lot of walking.
You watch as Jorum's legs keep going in the same direction, but Jorum's entire torso swivels around to look at you.
And
pop to it. We've got a long way to go, judging by the last staircase.
Hey, how strong are you, Joram?
Not at all.
Oh, so you couldn't lift me?
Only if you want to fall all the way down all of these stairs in a comedic manner that will take at least 10 minutes.
Not right now, because I don't have to walk back up.
On the way down, I'll carry you. It'll go poorly.
Or can we slide down the banister?
I'd be happy to slide down the banister. Hope your balance is good.
I don't know. It would be fun, wouldn't it?
Not if you end up as a messy tower pizza.
Well, I don't know if it'd be a tower pizza, more like a really a lot of pain, probably. You would just be like a pile of bones if you fell, but I guess you could just pull yourself back together.
You guys continue to have this conversation as you once again are climbing these stairs, and for a moment it helps. It really does. It passes the time. You feel something, your camaraderie and friendship growing as you give each other a hard time. Splash the cat is very happy to be with you. She darts along the stairs, getting up a few in front of you to lay down playfully and bat at your feet as you move by before getting back up and racing you up the stairs, as cats only see stairs as a challenge. Eventually, you come around the corner and the door once again opens up. And in front of you, you see a massive library. And when I say massive, I think you're tempted to think that there are a lot of books. And believe me, there are. But the stature of this room is massive. Tables for giants, chairs that if you walked over, you could try and pull yourself up onto. Everything about this room is large.
Does it have a rolling ladder?
Pardon?
Does it have a rolling ladder? Like in, Beauty
Yes.
and the Beast, like you got on
Yes.
the ladder.
It absolutely does. Let me go ahead and move this so chat can see where you guys are. Stand by. This is always the tricky
Holy
part.
blood, sinew, and tumors. This place is enormous.
The first thing that you notice, besides the oversized furniture that towers around you, you also see on top of these tables, there's a lazy little flame that seems to flick, annoyed, off this table over here. And then you also hear like a whooshing, like a whirring sound as another face comes and peeks over the edge of the table as you see two more cats. Flicker. Bloop. I'm going to show right now. And Gust. They look at you curiously, but don't seem to care as they are leisuring on these oversized tables. Let me make sure there's nothing else. The shelves, all the furniture in the room is oversized. The shelves are filled with various sized books. Some giants, others incredibly small, even for you. As you walk in, there's this kind of like foyer before it's like centers into a hall. And I know I've asked this multiple times. I apologize for not remembering. Someone here has a passive perception of like 15, 16. Am I remembering that correctly?
16, yep.
You hear beyond these large tables, you hear a feminine voice kind of muttering to herself. What would you guys like to do?
Can I bounce on one of the big chairs?
Pardon?
Can I bounce on one of the big chairs?
Yes. You can move over to one of these ones. You'd have to like make an athletics check or acrobatics check to climb up on top of it.
Okay, let's see how I do with this. I'm gonna try athletics. Oh, I didn't do too bad. I got 19.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to kind of, let me get to the right window here. You're able to climb over to this chair right here and grab an edge and hop up on it. There is a small plush cushion, as this does seem to be more of a study than like a lounge. But there is enough cushion on it that you're able to jump. It's not as satisfying as you hoped, as it seems the stuffing has been worn down.
Well, that's a disappointment. I
What's
just
everybody
wanted to,
else?
Damn.
Joram, what are you up to?
Joram is kind of looking around the library going, it's a damn shame Alter Self can't make me bigger. I'd love to get to the top shelf of some of these shelves.
Are you
climb?
Are you looking at any
I
of the
just
shelves
told
more
you
closely?
that I'm not very strong. You think I'm going to climb to the top of these? Ah!
It's not like you're going to die if you fall.
You could throw yourself piece by piece.
That. Wally?
No,
Now we're speaking the same language.
no, don't, no. You'll hurt yourself. You'll crack a skull, and then it'll be my job to patch you back up.
Hey, you just cast mending.
I know, yes, but let's just see with our eyes and not with our body parts.
Yeah, but I mean, there's books up there that Joram wants to read. Like, how else is Joram going to read those books from all the way down?
I once spent 30 years under a pile of dragon's gold. You think a fall off of a shelf is going to take me out for any significant amount of time? Ha!
I wonder if I can Misty step up there.
Okay. Before that, Joram, are you looking at these shelves at all, or are you just like, are you intentionally looking at them?
Yeah. I think Joram is kind of checking them out.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. And while you do that, Lena and Wally, what are you guys doing?
I think she is trying to keep an eye on on all of them, because usually everyone always does what they want without any care in the world, and so she worries and doesn't want anyone to do something reckless.
Okay.
I rolled a 10 and then I spent a reroll that Proper gave me way back at the beginning of the session. Thanks, Proper Nerdy.
And yes, I see that you have a 20. So you begin to look across these shelves, and as you're kind of opining that, gosh, you just really wish that you were taller, you wish you were a baller, so you could look at these higher shelves, you begin to feel that deep in the marrow in your bones, because even at this level, there is a treasure trove of items. You find a potion of fire breath, a misty step scroll. You find 3 potions of greater healing. And as you continue around the room, you see that there's a strange vault built into the side of the room. And inside, you just curiously open it, and sure enough, it's unlocked. Inside are winged boots and a cloak of protection.
Hell yeah, motherfucker. I'm gonna put the boots on.
Awesome. You now have winged boots. You can fly,
yeah.
motherfucker.
Well, that solves that issue as they fly off.
It will take time to attune, unfortunately.
Okay, good.
Up! Let's get this show on the road. Hip, hip, and away. Fuck.
Just give it time, We don't have to rush to these things, just in due time.
Wally, what are you up to?
I'm walking towards the mumbling that I'm hearing.
Okay. How are you doing? Are you just walking? Are you trying to sneak? What does that look like?
I'm just walking. I'm cavalier about it. Look, I just walked up like 40 million stairs. I don't even care anymore.
Okay. Awesome. And then Iris, you said you were trying to misty step. Are you just trying to misty step up into the higher shelves?
Yeah, I think she was joking at first, but now she's actually trying it.
Okay. Awesome. So you're able to do so and reach one of the higher shelves. Let's just find this. You hop up onto one of these higher shelves, and you're able to kind of wedge yourself kind of near these books. Stand by. And there are a lot of different books here. Stand by. You find a contemporary skill book entitled Celebrated Teachings on the Orcish Lexicon and it's meant to teach a person a specific skill. But you don't speak Orcish, so you don't know what it says. You find another book entitled, it's a biography entitled "The Grand Great Exploits of the Engineer, for which he is burnt." And it's a hefty tome, 608 pages. It seems to be in pretty good condition, written in Elven. And there's a portrait on the inside of the cover of someone with a very impressive mustache. And as you look, there continues to be other books. It seems at this level it truly was about reading.
I'm gonna grab the Orcish book that I can't read.
Okay, you do that. And it is a normal size, so you're able to tuck it into your pack.
And I'm gonna wave down.
Okay.
And whoever else is left in the room.
Very good.
I think Elena's like, are you done? Like, are you able to come down safely?
There's tons of books up here. Do you want one?
No.
I'll get you one. There's this really thick one.
As you guys are as you're calling out, and Wally, you're striding forward, you, I'm gonna say you get, you're moving between the furniture. The two cats on the table kind of curiously look down at you as you pass, and as your comrades behind you kind of call out, and you come around the corner, you see a young woman whose hair is pulled up behind her head. She's surrounded by books that she's seen to pull down on the floor. She's muttering to herself. She wears no weapons, just simple robes, as she's flipping through the pages, and she hears voices, and her head snaps in your direction, and she makes eye contact. And you'll watch as her very, welly manicured brows knit together with concern and go, "You shouldn't be here, darling."
Oh, yeah, hello. I was wondering, if you maybe wanted to join this group.
Who are you? How did you get here? Did the guards not let you? The guards let you in?
Oh yeah.
How is it possible?
The guards were awesome. I highly recommend them for promotion.
I beg your pardon.
Erg, I think his name was Erg. He opened the door, said, "Hey, head on up." Very friendly fellow. Basically, I'm just here to see if you would like to buy some essential oils.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Starter pack.
I'm sorry. Are you here? Are you marketing to me in my own tower?
Yeah. Well, yes. That's what I do.
Did you not see the sign? There was a sign. It said no soliciting.
There was no sign. Look,
it's included in the pamphlet.
I didn't get a pamphlet.
Well, you shouldn't be here. Either way, and she will snap the book that she's holding closed. And as you look to her and she takes a step back, you see on her robe, it's whites and silvers with swirling embroidery that looks like clouds and wind that move through it. Her hair is pulled up, but you see her bangs just kind of move slightly and shift with the wind. There's a small table next to her where a glass of wine sits half drunk, and there seems to be a hilt of a sword nearby. And she glares at you and says, "I believe that it is best if you leave now. You see, I'm quite busy, and I cannot be bothered by your essential oils. I'm afraid that I have as many as I need for the time being. So thank you, but please be going."
Well, sorry, but before I go, I promised Erg a fruit cup. You wouldn't happen to have one that I could take back down to him.
A fruit cup?
Yeah, he was hungry. He says he's been on shift for 72 hours.
He's a fire elemental. They don't need food.
Labor laws constitute that he gets a 15-minute break every 8 hours. All he's asking for is a fruit cup.
What are you talking about? He's bound to me through my pact. He does not require any such thing. Now, please, I have very important work to attend to, and I would appreciate it if you would please leave before I am forced to take higher measures.
Look, I promised Erg a fruit cup. Okay? I can't go back down there empty-handed. That would make me a liar, and that's not what I'm about.
Well, I don't think you understand. I'm saying you won't go down there at all if you continue to press me.
Look, lady, I just climbed 50,000 fucking stairs. The least you could do is hook me up with a fruit cup.
The least I could do is give an intruder into my home a fruit cup.
Joram Jorum's gonna round the corner at that point. No. You've misunderstood. The fruit cup was for Erg. I did tell him on my honor that I would get him a fruit cup.
Are you?
I'm curious. What are you working on up here?
This
library
I
is
will
an
not
absolute
have this.
banger.
This is absolutely insane. And she will reach back and grab the sword hilt and like have it like at her side and look at you taking a step back. Now listen, I've tried to be polite. Is it clearly you're here by mistake? Certainly you shouldn't be here. This is private property, and I am afraid that I shall have to ask you to leave.
Can Iris walk in with the book, the orcish book? She's like, I can't read this book. I don't know what it says.
And you're taking my books. You don't even know what they say. Who
Well, I wanna read
are
what-
you?
Nothing's been taken yet. She just happened to see a book and was like, maybe I'll read this. Like, you can't say that it was taken until she's officially left with the book. Which, I mean, we could give the book to Erg, but I don't think that's going to give him the same satisfaction that a fruit cup would.
She's going
Don't
to
give fire
hold.
elementals books. It never works out.
It never
Is
works
this not
out.
library?
Thank you. Are you somehow, do you know, can you please, you're the first person who's spoken that seems to have any amount of sense. Can you explain to me why you are here?
Well, about that. Does this person happen to look a lot like Orla?
She certainly does.
Okay. Well, Orla, you see, we met you down in the valley,
Orla!
and while we were down in the valley, you said that we should come up to this tower and we should, figure out what kind of warlock named Aaron, who has been terrorizing the valley with elementals.
Terrorizing.
And try to calm the situation down, because apparently it's very destructive for the people living nearby, and it's causing lots of problems.
As
I think we can
Joram,
come to some sort of reasonable solution here.
as Joram continues to ramble on, everybody make me an insight check, please.
Yeah, and Leia continues to sorry, perception, you said?
Yeah, insight, please.
Oh, insight. 8. Ooh.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
The 14 a fail.
So the way I do checks is that something happens regardless of what you roll. So don't worry about it. So if you got under a 10, which I think is Lena and Iris, is that correct?
No, I got 11.
11? Okay, so Lena, as you kind of watch this person, she starts to get very anxious. She's holding the sword hilt in her hand and kind of like nervously twitching it, but doesn't seem to do anything else. Joram and Iris, as you're watching her, and Joram, you in particular, as you're kind of continuing to talk, there's a couple of things you notice. First of all, it looks like this woman has neither slept nor eaten in some time. The air is kind of moving around her more sporadically than you see in other places. Her hair kind of shifting, her clothes, the papers on the table next to her. And she seems to be distressed, particularly when you mention Orla, particularly when you mention terrorizing the valley. And then Wally, as Joram continues to say, you're causing chaos in the valley, blah, 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 you pick up that there's a twinge of hurt and anguish and a little bit of rage as that comes across. You can tell that whatever Joram has said clearly is not the way that Aaron sees the series of events. And we'll go ahead and cut back to Joram continuing on his little tirade with Lena shing him.
Anyway, I find that often warlocks are deeply misunderstood people. We like towers. You come up to the top of the tower, you just got a good deal on the real estate, and sometimes things just happen, and people never
did
come
Orla
up
tell
and
you?
knock and say,
Did Orla tell you what happened? Or did she just send you here to deal with me?
Well, Orla gave us her side of things, which was that she was badly burned by a fire elemental. Her and her homies, per se, were fighting some elementals that you might have happened to have summoned, which was kind of problematic. And we're just here to get your side of things and see if we can't broker some peace. Let's talk about this. Let's hash things out.
Honestly, you seem a lot nicer than Death Ray.
Oh
Yeah,
God, Death Ray.
Do you know where the waffles are?
I think at this point, Alina just blurts out in a loud whisper, "She's the evil twin."
But I heard waffles. I want waffles. I didn't get to pet the cats, and they're so cute, and I want waffles.
You are the strangest people I think I've ever met.
Yeah,
There's
I am.
no
There's all the time.
no waffles here. Orientation day is Thursday. It is Monday. There are no waffles today.
What about
Second,
fruit cups?
there's no
You look
fruit
like you
cups.
could use a fruit cup. I'm just saying.
You'll watch
You
as
might
her
want to
eyes.
dip into the stash.
You'll watch as her eyes kind of brim with tears, and she will take a step back, still gripping the hilts of this sword in her hand, still at the ready, and will look at you. She says that I'm terrorizing the valley. And I say,
No. Please, don't misunderstand my friend. She didn't say terrorizing. She just said that there was some problems with some elementals, and asked us to look into it for her.
Some elementals have caused some sort of clash.
I could hear them dancing in the trees.
I didn't hear that. I think I was dead briefly. Extra
Well,
dead.
You don't have ears, so you can't really hear much.
Lena, now's not the time to be rude.
Oh, no, I'm fitting in with you all.
We're being rude? What?
Jorum's
You
very
are-
self-conscious about their lack of ears.
I think you're just fine.
I'm sorry, Jorm, you're right.
I don't have eardrums, but I've still got the
Can-
little ear bones.
can you
Should we-
please just leave so I can bring my mother back and be happy again? Can you
What happened to
please
your
just go? You don't
What happened-
belong here.
Can we help you? What happened?
No, you cannot help me.
Well,
I need to do this.
we can do something for you.
I
You could leave.
You're telling me that a magically reanimated skeleton can't help you bring your mother back. That's
Yeah, Aaron.
Briny.
Aaron,
Can
look
you
at me.
open up a portal to all of the elemental planes?
Well, I am a warlock. I could help.
We can go to the ethereal.
You know, I
plane.
haven't tried it yet, but I'll give anything a go
Yeah.
once.
Jorum's a fucking genius. If anybody could do it, it's definitely Jorum.
You flatter me. It's
No.
true though.
No. We're not here to help the bad person. We're here to stop
Now,
them.
Lena,
The bad
Lena,
person.
how are you gonna come in here and insult this very nice lady? She hasn't stabbed us. We don't know that she's bad. Clearly, she's hurting. She lost her mother, and she's grieving. Maybe we should see what we can do to help her get through this tough time.
Well, she wants to bring her back. So, I mean, if she's
A little
lost-
sympathy goes a long way, Lena.
Wait, and now I'm the bad guy? Well, I'm just trying to get you guys all waffles, and you're not helping. You're making this a very stressful situation.
take
I
a
mean,
deep breath.
I've already found a library. As far as I'm concerned, the goose is already cooked.
Lena, take a deep breath and relax. It's okay. We're all fine. We're gonna have waffles with berries on it, and we're gonna go to the back. And I'll pick you some flowers this time, and you can put them in your hair. They look really nice in your hair.
Yes, I would like some flowers in my hair, waffles. We'll walk the catacombs, whatever. I don't care at
Can I
this
make
point.
you a crown of flowers?
Aaron, when was the last time you ate? Do you want to start from the beginning over a little snack? We'll get out of your hair if we can't do anything to help, but, you know, I've always found with people who are made of flesh, talking things through and eating something, maybe even drinking some water instead of wine or coffee, can really change your perspective on things. What do you say?
She will stand there, gripping the helm or the hilt of this sword in her hand, white knuckled, and look just at each of you before taking a deep breath. Go ahead and roll me persuasion.
I'm suddenly regretting using that reroll.
Can I give you my reroll? I have one.
Well, let's see how this goes first, right? Because I get one. What do you say, GM? That's a 7.
So I won't allow like the swapping of rerolls. However, I am okay with making the argument if Wally can step in here now and assist somehow, I will let Joram reroll for advantage. But you have to make the case as to what Wally would do and how they would assist.
So Wally would step aside Joram as Joram's, giving the spiel of like, hey, let's just get you something to eat. Let's get you, some water. Let's talk things through. And I would just step in and assist with that. I'd be like, hey, Aaron, look, I was created by a madman named Geppetto. He just wanted to destroy things. I had no higher purpose other than, destruction. And I have sought very hard to find that higher purpose and let me help you. This is why I'm here. I don't want to be a tool of destruction. I want to help. So let's talk about things. Let's get you some food. Let's sit down. I understand that you're grieving. Let's get through that process.
Go ahead and roll again, Joram.
Right. It's exactly the moment when I switch off of that page.
It'd be like that.
How?
Somehow a 6. So my total roll is an 8.
You'll watch as her eyes twitch back and forth between you all. And it's like almost as like she might be convinced, but then there's something that grips her grief or maybe her resolve. And she will take a step back and hold this fire sword out to her side and ignite it. A blade will erupt from the hilt, reaching out into the floor and actually digging into the wood, burning it away. And you'll feel the heat even from the distance that she's standing. She'll look up at you, and you can see that this is a woman who is clearly devastated. And she will, through clenched teeth, say, I've asked you to leave. I've told you that you didn't belong here in the same way that Mother told them she couldn't help, and they didn't listen because they thought they knew better. And in the end, they took her from me, and they locked her away in a place that we could never reach. I will have her back, and I will have my vengeance, and I will not let such a strange cast of adventurers keep her from me. And with that, she will raise the sword before you can say anything, and you'll hear a whirring of flame and wind in the bookcases behind her as she stands holding the sword above her head. Go ahead, Joram.
Grease.
Oh.
Where are you casting it?
On the sword's hilt.
On the sword's hilt. Go ahead and drop it into the Roll20 so we can see what this looks like. Can you give me the description?
Display. Yeah.
Joram. Why do I want to marry the skeleton?
Oh, is it only on a 10-foot square in this game? I thought you could grease, in Pathfinder at least, you could grease specific objects as long as they weren't too big.
I kind of love that it's a whole 10-foot cube. I kind of love that you just cast grease and it's just like she just like erupts. Like, I understand your intention is to try and get her to drop the sword. I completely understand that, and we can flavor this because I do require like a dex save.
Yeah, you get a dex save against 14.
Okay, let me roll that really quick. Yeah, she doesn't make it. So you cast grease, and we can flavor it that like you are focusing at like the point of where it comes from. It's almost like it's a fountain of grease that will eventually cover a 10-foot square, but it erupts from right above her hand as she's holding this sword. And she's feeling very like confident, and you can hear flames and wind behind her as she's holding this blade aloft. And she goes to say something snarky or something maybe powerful, but before she can, the grease erupts in her fingers and she loses grip of the sword, and the hilt clatters to the ground, like, and snuffs out like a lightsaber, just whoop. However, as it clatters to the ground, she'll just look at it and look back at you. You'll be leaving now. And you hear a rush of air come like out from behind the bookshelf, screaming forward towards you, like wind in a canyon, as a giant air elemental comes around the corner and moves in your direction. And that is where we're going to take another quick break. Hang in there, chat. We're going to roll some intermission or some initiatives, and we will be right back to resolve the end of this session. Be right back. And we're back. Hi, everybody. When we last left off, some grease lightning had happened, but now it's time to have a little fashion fun. This air elemental comes barreling around the corner, all rage. As Erin looks at it and puts a hand out, and it reaches out a hand, she points towards you and says, "Please remove them from this place." And it is going to move towards you. Let me check some oh, yeah. It just rushes towards you and gets right up in Joram and Lena's face. Let me read this. Actually, yeah, pardon? Was there a question?
You were saying.
Okay. She's gonna, or the elemental's gonna position itself here because it's a cool air elemental and it can do that, and it's going to whirlwind. So I need the three people.
Did it fly here or did it walk?
It flew.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Yes. The grease. Yes, it flew. So it flew across the ground. So Joram, Iris, and Lena, I need you all to make me dex or strength saving throws, please.
13.
Okay.
I got a nat 20.
Nice.
17.
Okay, anybody beneath a 15 will take 17 bludgeoning damage. You'll take half as much. Oh, wait, and let me see. Let me read through this. Let me see. No, on a fail, so only Lena at this point takes 17 bludgeoning damage, and you're going to be flung 20 feet this way. So go ahead and move your token to this square, please, if you can see me measuring out. Yep. Awesome. Let's see. And you are now prone. And then take, let's see. Great. That's it. And then if you saved, you take half the bludgeoning damage. So half of 17. And you aren't flung away and you aren't knocked prone.
How much was half? Sorry.
Half of 17, that's going to be 8.
Thank you.
Yep, you are welcome. And then it is going to, I think it's good to stay there. Yep, and it's going to stay there as this air elemental just stands in your space and swirls around you. Strange hands coming in and out of your space trying to knock you over. Next up is Iris.
Actually, I'm just going to take a seat in front of her.
Okay.
What time is it?
No, you're good.
And I'm going to say, you know, my mom was taken from me too. I get it.
Erin's going to look at you. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
16.
A 16. Okay. Let me make a note of this really quick. She looks at you, and you can see like her eyes twinge, and you can tell that like what you've said has taken effect, but she's going to need more convincing. Does that make sense? Like, you have had an effect, however, it is going to take more such conversation in order to bring her around. Would you like anything for a bonus action?
What would I have to do?
Well, do you have any bonus actions available to your character, I guess I should say.
Okay.
Let me pull up this and see what we've got. Your ranger. Let's see. I'm just going to pull up your character sheet really quick to kind of assist. Ooh, neat. I don't think sorcerers have many options for bonus actions.
No, and I can't. The sorcery points are for another spell.
Yes, or you can Misty Step if you have more second level spots.
I don't think Misty Step will help at all.
Okay. Yeah, if you're good, we can move on to the next person's turn. Awesome. Lena, you are prone, meaning to stand, you'll lose half your movement. Just as a reminder, what would you like to do?
I would like to groan and just... and then I think I'm going to... Oof, I am beat up. I think, yeah, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at... second level. And
okay.
11 healing.
11 healing. Perfect. Any bonus action, sir?
And then... No. I think I'll just... 15.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, just move up. Just get closer.
All right. Joram, you are up.
Yeah. So I think I am going to kind of walk around the grease puddle.
Okay.
To the far side of it.
Okay.
So that I'm kind of close to Aaron.
Okay.
And Joram's gonna say, "Look, lass, we've all made decisions that felt right in the moment, but we ignored them even if we heard they were hurting people. I've lived a long fucking time, and let me tell you, you can't undo hurt sometimes. You can apologize, but if people get hurt, sometimes they aren't very forgiving, and they'll come bang down your door with a sledgehammer."
Go ahead and roll persuasion. Oh no. Joram, God bless.
Got a 4.
Trying. Out here trying.
I know. I hear ya.
I can't. And that point is completely undercut when he fires off an acid arrow at the elemental.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Fuck you, big guy.
Yeah. Is that a roll to hit? Or is it a save?
I believe it's a roll to hit. I'm going to hit the button and it'll do the right thing, presumably.
Okay. So a 23 to hit. Yikers. Okay. All right.
We're doing the first one.
And it's acid, right? Yikadoos. So it's 10 damage and then 2 for the 6 is splash damage, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
Oh golly.
Go ahead and hit just drop it in the thing and I can read through it really quick.
It's on the next turn. It'll take 6 additional.
Okay, gotcha. Help me keep me honest about that. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that'll be my turn.
Awesome. Wally, it is now your turn, sir.
All right. So Aaron's just standing there, right? No sword.
Aaron's standing there. The hilt is in the grease at her side. She is looking at it. It is obvious that she is going to try and pick up this hilt.
Where is she looking at me? Like, can she see me?
she's kind of looking around, but she's preoccupied with the hilt on the ground.
Going through, looking at her and her sister, would I have enough to try to disguise myself as her mother?
I mean, you've seen a lot of different murals. Disguise self, I'm pretty sure, is just, like, it's just you have to have seen them, right? I'm pretty sure it's like any person. Let's see. You make yourself, including your clothing, armor, and weapons and other belongings on your person, look different. And yeah, so you can look different.
So yeah, I want to cast disguise self on myself to try and look like her mother.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to walk up and give her a hug.
Oof a doof, roll to wreck my heart. Okay. I am going to give her, because you're casting this kind of like in front of her. What's this?
Sure.
What's your spell save DC?
14.
Okay, she rolled a 15. So as you kind of approach, there's a moment where she sees you and kind of like you watch as her eyes go wide, but as your arms reach around, because disguise self, it's like acts as like an illusion around you. It doesn't like actually change you. So as you bring her into the hug, that's actually the thing that gives you away, because you're warforged and not like a person. You feel different. And she kind of like coming up here in a second. Cole's getting so mad at me.
It happens.
Oh, there it goes. It's back up.
I'm sorry, Cole.
Haha, Cole, you're gonna have to edit videos.
So you go in to bring her into a hug. Your body makes connection with hers, and she shoves you away and says, "They took her and they shouldn't have. It wasn't her fault, and I will bring her back so we can be happy again. And all can be as it was meant to be." Is there anything else you can do with your turn, Wally? Any bonus actions?
Yeah, I can cast Shadow Blade.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, go for it, fam.
Weave together threads of shadow to create a sword, solidified with gloom in your hand. This magic sword lasts until the spell ends. It's a simple melee weapon, does psychic damage.
Okay. And is it just summoning it is the bonus action? Or do you get to actually attack?
I think it's just summoning it.
Okay. I can pop over and double check, but I'm pretty sure it's a cantrip, right?
It is. This is its second level.
Let me look really quick. Bonus action. Shadow Blade. Casting time. Yes. Yeah, so I'm going to say bonus action to cast it, but on your next turn you'll have to like attack with it.
Yep. Works for me.
Awesome, which takes us to Erin's turn. She is going to try and reach down in this grease and pick up this sword. And she's going to do a real bad job of it as she tries to reach down and like, it's almost like it kicks and the grease like sends the hilt skittering out this direction. So it's now in this square. And she's going to try and just move towards it, trying to pick up this sword desperately. Next in the order is the air elemental, and it is going to make a slam attack against Iris. Does a 23 hit? Okay, so take 9 bludgeoning damage. It's then going to turn at Wally as that sword like comes into your hand. That sounded wrong. As the sword appears in your hand, it will now see you as a threat and is going to attack at you as well. A 27 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
15 bludgeoning damage as it sends another hand and just slams you against that bookcase. Next up is Iris.
And she's going to try talking to Erin again.
Okay, go for it.
And, well, you know, my whole home was completely destroyed, and I'm on this journey with them, but I am gathering money and resources so that I could find whoever destroyed my home. I don't think I would do a whole tower like this, but I'm also going to ask my friends for help because I know I can't do it myself. But I know that with working with them, I will find people who took everything from me, and they could help you too.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Okay. She is telling the truth.
Okay.
I got a 21.
That will work. So you watch as she's kind of skittering. She'll stop and it's like she's considering it, though she doesn't make eye contact and will continue to go with the sword. You now have 2 successes and 1 fail. Anything else you want to do with your turn? Move or...
Just not be... I'm pretty sure that knocked me prone, so I'm going to kind of sit up so I'm not prone.
Okay.
And straighten myself up because it kind of beat me up pretty badly.
Gotcha. Lena, you are now up.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking the ray of sickness, but I doubt I can make elemental sick.
I don't know. It's always worth a shot. We've got Wally trying to give dead mom hugs. We've got Joram just casting grease and being like, I'm out. We've got Iris being like, this is an intervention. What is Lena doing?
Well, I think she's just doing what she knows how to do and try to beat stuff up. I'm going to cast Ray of Enfeeblement.
Okay, are you casting that at the...
At the elemental.
Okay. Let me read through some stuff. Okay, what do I need to do? A Constitution saving throw.
Yep.
On it. Let me look and see if I have any kinds of advantages. I don't think that I do. What's the spell DC? I got a 15.
The DC is... Oh, crap. Where'd it go?
Let's see. Make a ranged spell attack on a hit. The target.
14.
Okay, but this is why I'm confused. So it's a save, but it's also saying a hit. So a 21 hits. So it'll take... Oh, it must be for something else. So the 21 hits. The target deals only half damage with weapon attacks that use strength until the spell ends. Oh, at each event of its turn. Okay, so it only does... Okay, I see. So only half damage with strength. Nice work. So you'll watch as this cloud being, as you cast it, the clouds will kind of... It's almost as if they evaporate or turn into different, less bulky clouds and dissipate into the air around it, and it loses a little bit of its bulk. Anything else you want to do?
I think I get in its range. I have to.
Okay.
Hopefully get its attention.
Awesome. Joram, you are up.
Look, Aaron, none of us are trying to hurt you. We'll defend ourselves. But if there's anything you should take our word for, it's that we want the best for the most parties possible. And if that means helping you, we'll try to find a way to help you. But you can't keep hurting people. You'll only end up hurting yourself.
Roll persuasion.
Cast heat,
you're casting
I'll
something.
also cast heat metal on the sword.
Oh, sick. Okay, yeah. Roll persuasion first.
Okay. 16, baby.
You will say, as you're talking and you put your hand out to the sword to, heat it up, and we'll just narratively manage this. You put your hand out and cast heat metal, and the hilt of this sword lights up. And Aaron's face kind of falls as you said you will only hurt yourself. And Aaron will...
The sword is a metaphor. Do you understand?
She'll stop, hand outstretched towards this hilt on the ground. And you'll watch as she's begun to cry. The air elemental who was raising up its arms over Iris's head as Iris kind of sat up to straighten herself up will just slowly drop, as if commanded by some sort of invisible voice. Aaron, now covered in grease, will look at Joram, tears streaming down her face, and say, "But they hurt me first. And they took her, and I didn't mean to hurt them. I just needed to open the door long enough. I can't control what comes out. I only have command over air, and she gestures at the sword on the ground, and fire. If Orla had helped me, if Father had helped me, we might have brought her back sooner.
Well, look around. You've got 4 motherfucking badasses hanging out with you right now.
She will kind of nod and look at all of you, shaking some of the grease off of her arms.
Let me get that cleaned up, and I don't know if I actually have prestidigitation or anything, but I will at least think about ungreasing her.
I kind of love that if you don't, you just pull out one of those worthless little hankies and start rubbing like her arm, but it doesn't really help. It just kind of smears it, you know what I mean? But you're like, we'll get it off in no time.
I go for the face first.
Yes.
It's like rubbing the tears and the grease together.
Listen, Aaron, look. I'm very insulted that you thought my essential oils were inferior to whatever you have here. Like, I carry a very legitimate product. Putting that aside, why don't you tell us what exactly happened to your mother? Who took her? We're more than happy to help you try to get her back if it's within our power.
She sighs, and as she does, Joram, Splash the cat comes up from behind you and rubs against your leg. And as Erin sees this, you watch as her whole countenance softens as she recognizes that this little elemental cat clearly trusts you enough to be nearby, and there's kind of a peace about it. And she'll nod and look at the air elemental, who will sort of just dissipate as it goes and leaves the room outside of a window. And she'll nod and say, all right, I'll tell you everything. She leads you over to this table where the little flame cat that sits on the table perks up at her approach and excitedly jumps down into her arms. She holds it. And she'll actually settle down on the rugs near the bottom of the table, making no attempt to sit near the chairs. Well, I am Erin Swain, daughter of the King of Damar. My mother was queen, and she served the people of this valley all her days. The land of Damar was blessed, as were we, each taking a pact and balance of the 4 elements. My mother wielding water, my father fire, and then soon in time, when Orla and I were born, I took up air, and she will hold up her hand, and you'll see that there's a little air that spirals in the palm of her hand. And Orla, ever sturdy, took earth. We tried to serve the people of Damar to the best of our abilities. My mother, in particular, caring for all that she saw. She was kind and loving. A rumor began to spread among the people that there was a drought, one that would not end, despite her best efforts. She could not bring the rain. And a rumor was spread among the people that she was the cause of the drought, and they rose up against her. In her frustration, she barricaded herself here in her tower and attempted to open a plane of water, but was lost in the process. I have been trying to open a portal to there, trying to bring her home, to bring back a woman who did her best, but to no avail. I warded the tower from my sister and my father so they might not stop me, for they would try. But I cannot let her go. And the people that cursed her, cast her out, they do not deserve her gifts, but I would bring her back just so we could be together again. That is all. She holds up the hilt of the sword. This is my father's sword that I stole from his house in order to wield the element of fire. I sent my elementals to retrieve Orla. Her party is fine. They're being held in a higher room. There's some Azers to take care of them. It's like the ones that you met at the gate. I intended to bring her here so she might help me, but they were unsuccessful. I didn't mean to cause harm. I wanted to make things right.
Right. Okay, so let me ask you this. Your mother was taken to a plane of water.
Yes.
And you're certain she's still alive.
I would like to hope, but there's no way to know. We've not been able to communicate with her, but that does not mean she's not there.
No, and that's valid. Your feelings are valid here. You do need to consider, though, at the end of the day, would your mother have wanted you to put yourself through this?
Go ahead and roll me persuasion.
Bring it up. Yeah, that's not very good.
Of course not, but it's not about her. It's about the family that she left behind. It's about being together. If I could open the portals, if we could, and if she wasn't there, we could make a homunculus using the 4 elements as one and bring back her soul. Either way, she would be back with us.
Let me pause that button right there. The homunculus is not, look at me. It's not any life for anybody to be stuck with. I spent a long time trying to find myself and put myself in service of others. I was used as a tool for war. I was nothing more than a killing machine for a very long time, and it's something that'll haunt me until my core stops to function. It's not a life for anybody to just be an automaton, to be nothing, essentially. I understand that you're hurt and that you want your mother back, and we're more than happy to try and help you get your mother back. But first, we need to make amends with your sister and your father to see if we can even move forward and take that path. We'll help you find closure. We'll help you get the closure that you need. But I think some of that closure is going to come from making amends with the family that you still have.
Aaron's kind of nodding as Wally's talking. What are Iris and Lena doing?
I think Iris is nodding along, trying to reinforce what Wally's saying, like saying how they kind of helped her not be as angry.
Mm-hmm. And Lena?
I think she is keeping quiet, maybe. She's not good with her words. She's just known military life for the very longest time before she met this group. And I think she just doesn't want to cause any more stress to Aaron by, just speaking.
Absolutely. Iris, as you're sitting there and kind of talking, Gust, the little wind cat, is going to very curiously come over and sniff at your knee. As you're sitting here with Aaron, and Aaron seems to be totally fine, go ahead and make me an animal handling check with advantage.
I did it. The highest one was the 14. No, not 14. It was I had added
16.
Pardon, what number?
16.
A 16? A 16 will do it. The cat will come curiously kind of sniffing, and you'll hold out your hands to introduce yourself. And the cat will sniff, sniff. And it will smell the wildflowers and berries that you had picked earlier kind of on you and be very happy, and gingerly will step into your lap, where it will curl up, a small like breeze kind of kicking up as it curls up in your lap and falls asleep. You have made friends with Gus the cat.
Can I pet Gus gently?
You absolutely can. And you know when you put your hand out a car window, how the wind tickles between your fingers and it's like you can kind of feel it? That's what it feels like as you run your hand along this cat. It's just cool and refreshing, and you kind of go to scritch behind its ears, and again, it's just like this lovely breeze that moves across your fingertips. Joram, what are you doing?
Joram has been quiet for a few moments and has been as still as death, one might say. And kind of rolls, you hear a few bones pop. And Joram says, "Do you have anything that belonged to your mother? Something that she had a great deal of affection for? An anchor of kinds?"
I actually, you do. And she'll gesture down, and at your feet is a small water elemental cat. We each had one, and that was hers. She was always rather fond of it, given her affinity for the water elements.
Well, you little bastard, are you ready to bring somebody home?
The cat will look at you and just kind of...
Come along. And Jerome will take some red wax candles out of their bag, light them, and begin constructing a very elaborate magical circle on the ground. And this takes probably 20 minutes. And Joram, when it's done, kind of looks it over and says, "You need to be standing here." And there's like a spot with like a circle, a triangle, and a square all lined up. Go on to Splash.
Splash will rub against your leg and kind of coyly look at you, pawing at your pouch where you had the dried fish, kind of as if wanting more.
Yes, very well. And sprinkles it into the spot.
Splash will then go stand very patiently, gingerly picking up the pieces of dry fish and consuming them. It's interesting because the cat is somewhat translucent given it's made of water, but the fish just seems to disappear as the cat eats it.
In a language that had been dead for millennia, Joram begins to speak and chant. The room dims. The flames in the space turn green, and there is the chill of death upon everyone as Joram calls upon a power that they have not used in any of their memories. They know how to do these things. They practice a different way of living now. But Joram calls out to this long dormant piece of their self and uses the power to plane shift. The walls fade to a sort of purple starscape. We flash through the plane of fire. We flash through the plane of water. We flash through the plane of earth. We flash through the plane of air as he searches. Where does he find the sorcerer known as Lady Laurel?
You find the warlock queen, Lady Laurel, trapped between all four. It's almost as if something had gone horribly wrong. She is between all four in a strange space that doesn't really make sense, but she sits there calmly. Her hair is gray in streaks, unlike the murals that you've seen where it was raven black and perfect. And there are wrinkles around her eyes as she seems to be sitting there in some sort of meditative trance, holding herself centered in this place that doesn't make sense.
Joram will walk into this space and without thinking of it begins projecting a very different appearance. We see long flowing robes, arcane sigils written on them in gold and black. There is no hat, there is no helm, but there is a diadem with a large green emerald hanging on their head.
The woman opens her eyes and sees you as you approach. She seems confused, but confident, and kind of nods. I don't believe we've had the pleasure. Are you here to take me home?
Yes.
She'll nod and quietly stand, fixing the silver gown that falls around her bare feet, and holds out her hand for a second and then pulls it back, kind of afraid. Who sent you?
You have two wonderful daughters who are waiting to see you again.
Yes, I do. And she'll put her hand out and take yours.
And we will take a few steps back and we watch the planes like unfurl, kind of like, you know, those like little binoculars that have pictures of, you know, the places, and you click the button and they chuk, 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 and we'll peel back the planes as we arrive back in the room. Much colder than when it started, but all of us intact. The red arcane circle has turned from wax to blood, but other than that, nothing else has changed.
You step through with Lady Laurel in tow. The rest of the party is sitting there trying to comfort Erin as she tells her story. It's almost as if you reach like through a window in space and time and like effortlessly grab something so precious to this girl, this woman, and just pull it through. And for a moment, Erin kind of looks at you shocked. Surely it could not be that easy. But as a hand comes through the air attached to yours, her eyes widen. Wally, you notice this first, as you've been the closest to her engaging. Followed by Iris, followed by Lena, as she hurriedly stands, the flame cat on the table next to her, growling grumpily and falling onto a chair, because surely this disturbance was some kind of offense to it. As you continue to hold this hand and the woman steps through, you watch as Erin just glows. Lady Laurel stands in her tower amongst her things returned after an inordinate amount of time trapped between the planes. She looks at you, Joram, and offers a quiet thank you before turning to see the rest of the party. You see a queen, a woman of unending elegance and grace. She exudes kindness just by being. Erin looks at her and loses her mind as she cannot get up fast enough to run to her mother and close her in an embrace. Lady Laurel, however, reacts a bit shocked. This is more human contact than she's had in several years, and will stand stunned for a bit before looking at all of you. Well, thank you, I suppose. As she holds her daughter, and you have returned the Queen of Damar to the land once more.
Joram Oxbow, at your service.
She regally nods at you and turns to the rest of the party.
Iris, hi. Nice to meet you. Great pictures.
Thank you.
And I think Lena Thelier, and then does a little salute.
She will just nod in return.
And then, amidst casting disguise self to look like Lena, I'm Wally.
You'll watch as she raises an eyebrow that is matches that of her daughter's, and as a quizzical smile kind of flirts across her lips, and she goes, "It is wonderful to meet you all, and it is good to be home." The next several hours of your life kind of whisk by. Erin excitedly talks to her mother amidst crying and laughing and joy. Lady Laurel takes it with grace as she continues about trying to get an understanding of what's happening. With the help of her daughter, she is able to use the sword to open up the tower for normal access. You're able to return to the upper floors and find, in fact, Orla's regiment was kept here safely, being fed fruit cups and waffles to their delight, and were well tended to. The Azers at the... Yes.
Does Erg get his fruit cup?
Erg is at the front gate as you leave, and he will kind of watch as you walk by. You are able to give him a fruit cup should you wish.
Yes, I want to give Erg a fruit cup. That dude earned it.
Oh, thanks, Ann. I really appreciate it. Oh, man, I freaking love pineapple. We don't have that in the Plane of Fire, and it's like a whole thing.
This is not what I expected when I heard a fruit cup.
You are led down from the tower, Erin and Laurel. As you reach the camp where you initially met Orla, she is there waiting. And there is another beautiful reunion as two daughters and their mother spend an evening together before heading to the capital, to the kingdom, to the city, where, in true fashion, Joram is allowed to explore the catacombs and libraries to his heart's content. Iris, you are able to eat your weight in waffles, and not only that, Lady Laurel provides you with the family recipe, the thing that has fed the kingdom for years. Lena, you're able to meet up with some of the local guards and spar and actually work out some of that aggression amongst some more even keel folk. Wally, you are able to, as you kind of go through the town, you see different places that you're able to, should you wish, sell essential oils and continue to build your small business in the town of Damar. But ultimately, as heroes do, you save the day and you spend some time, but the road calls to you again. And after the reunions and the love that you've been able to participate in this town, each of you, whether together or separate, set your foot off onto a new trail and out to a new adventure. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. You guys did it! Yay! Thank you so much for coming and playing with me tonight, guys. We're going to give us a couple minutes just for some final thoughts or questions or conversations, and then we'll go ahead and move to outros. What did you think?
It was fun. I really enjoyed it. Did not expect that to go that way, but it was awesome.
It was very fun.
It was a lot of fun. I think Iris I think Wally sold Iris some oils that helped her kind of chill out.
I could see this. This resonates with me.
Do you have anything, just out of like a meta curiosity, is there anything written for how to bring Laurel back?
Yeah, so I planned on different options, right? So if you had convinced Orla to go with you, there would have been an exchange between Orla and Aaron. I can just read you directly. So for those of you who might be curious, this adventure is actually released on the TBK Patreon. You'll be able to see just how much this party reflected the changes that I made to the narrative. It's intentionally written very loosely to allow for RP and taking it in the way that makes sense. However, there are 4 options for what happens. Number 1, you can stop Erin via combat, defeating her and her elementals. This will make it so there will close portals and you can leave the tower safely. You can stop her via convincing. This will leave her in a state of despair. However, she'll close the portals and the party will be able to leave. This sets up an opportunity for the sisters to reconcile. They can help Erin complete the ritual. Combining 4 elements ultimately it would require creating a homunculus and bringing back her mother's soul. However, there's a potential there that the soul could be corrupted. So you've got a happy ending, sad ending there. And then you can help, or I guess one is you can bring back a corrupted soul, and once on the material plane, she'll thank Erin for bringing her back and disappear, thanking for the opportunity to bring vengeance into the world. Or you can have the happy ending. I tried to intentionally make it, depending on what the party and like the vibe of the session, that it kind of honored the experience that the players had. I like going more with like what you guys set me up for than saying this is how it shall be. You could have fought the Azers at the front door. They were accompanied by gargoyles. Had your magical equipment been disintegrated, you would have recovered it later. There was a bunch of different twists and turns, but I have to say it turned out better than I could have. And true TTRPG fashion, it turned out more magical and better than I could have ever anticipated. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take us out. So players, go ahead and go around, starting with our incredible vermin. Tell the people who you are, where they can find you, and what you got going on.
Hey, y'all. I am the Legendary Vermin. You can find me as Legendary Vermin on all the places that matter. That is, of course, Itch, Twitch, and Twitter. And tonight, I was Jorah Moxbow at your service. When will I be back here? I am back here tomorrow night for another episode of Hubris of Man, which is our alien TTRPG campaign. That's really exciting. There's a lot going on. Really, really fun, cool game with a lot of very fun and witty banter. Next month, I will, of course, be back with another episode of Madness Calls It Forth. And I'm also in some talks for a game that will start mid-January. Keep an eye out for that. If you're ever wondering what I'm doing, you can find out on legendaryvermin.com/live. And if you're ever like, gosh, I like the stuff that she does, I wonder if I could get it in a more static form, you can check out my games, which are on legendaryvermin.itch.io. Janie, take it away.
Hi, I'm Janie. I'm JaniePot7575 on Twitter. I try to remember to post what I'm doing on there. I'm not always successful, but I'm going to keep trying. Tomorrow, I'm also on this channel for Hubris of Man. And I cannot remember what I'm doing past that. I think Thanksgiving is coming up or something. I don't know. I'm going to move it to the next person.
Hey, I'm Comrade Crash on Twitter and Twitch. I played Lena Thalar, the half-elf cleric. Next up, looks like on my calendar, next Tuesday, I'll be back with Oathsworn. Very fun, Greek-inspired D&D campaign that we're really having fun with. And then maybe next year we'll have some more stuff coming up for me. Until then, we'll pass it on to Phil.
So, I'm Phil Prime. You probably know me from various iterations of Henshin. I am also in the Hubris of Man, although I will not be in tomorrow's show. I've got family stuff for Thanksgiving, but be sure to tune in to check out the wonderful Vermin as Phoebe tomorrow. Probably one of the best characters in the show. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us at TPK. I'm going to throw this back to Sarah, our wonderful GM for the evening, so she can close it out.
Hi, everybody. I'm Osarix Franco, and I was your GM tonight. I also wrote this, The Heat of Loss, The Breeze of Hope, as a part of our show on TBK Con, The Iron GM, which is the challenge to write a session in an hour. It was so fun to actually get to play through this and test it out and see how it ran. I'm so grateful to the players. Thank you so much for bringing wonderfully thought out characters and with your roleplay hats on. It's always appreciated. I want to have a huge shout out to chat for the donations, whether it was through points or bits. You guys have been incredible. Thank you so much. If you like my face and the words I say sometimes, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all the places as Osarix Franco. I do a variety of TTRPG content, both here on TBK Roleplay and shows like, Dark Echoes, The Harpers, and various other projects going on. Stargate Phoenix, which just showed last night, and you can check that episode out on YouTube soon. You can find me over at Nat 20 every Sunday in Morningstar and Company. We have Beyond the Tides once a month on Wednesdays. Starting a week from today, there's a new campaign kicking off with the Nation of Joe GMing called The Power Beyond, and I am so incredibly excited to sit at that table. We also have The Last Time Around, which is a retelling of the Curse of Strahd module beginning on December 4th, where I'll be bringing a new character, and it is going to be dark and grueling and amazing. On Fridays, you can find me on Critical Misses in a Star Trek campaign, and soon I will be over on Neon Lights Roleplay for a new project kicking off there. So many cool things. I'm sure I've forgotten something, but I'm just very grateful to be here with you all tonight. Thank you so much for a wonderful session. And remember, tell stories because they're great and they mean something. Have a good night. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.